the call of the game.
You might be.
But out there this afternoon, East Geelong take on Anarchy, and an interesting game in the respect that one side's going along very nicely, the other is really struggling to put a score on the board. Even last week against Bellpost Hill, they had 1 goal, 2 or something, I think, for the day or something, and kicked the first goal of the day. Interesting competition out there, Grub, but Joe, the East Geelong side going on pretty nicely.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be interesting. I don't think there'll be much interest in it after about 15 minutes into the first quarter by the looks of the way both of these sides are travelling. I thought Anarchy were going all right and battling away, but they've just started to drop off a little bit in the last couple of weeks. I thought they might have beat Werribee, but they weren't able to, and then they just got crunched last week, and I've just got this funny feeling they're going to get crunched today, because in the end, when you talk about first, second, third, maybe fourth and fifth, there's not going to be much between these sides. But each side's beating each other up the top, and to get a top 3 spot, who knows? You might have to have percentage, and so when you play Anarchy, you've got to make sure that you get that percentage, because the other sides in that top 3 either already have or are going to. So I think East Geelong will be out there today to try and really, really get a lot of percentage.
If they, I was watching during the week on the TV, and I think Mick Malthouse went out to a club that's been obviously belted by 400 points each week, and I'm not saying Anarchy are in that position at this stage, but what do they need to do? I don't know where they go to. We spoke to the president out there a couple of weeks back, and he's adamant that obviously the way the way that this club are designed with salary caps, with points and all sort of, makes it very hard for them to actually get a group of players to come there with any quality and to get themselves back up and running, is it?
Yeah, well, it is, because if they since Daniel Bunworth's taken over, he's a Werribee person.
Yep.
And of course, he's been getting people from around the leagues in Werribee. Your good players there are 3 or 4 pointers, so you can't really get too many of them.
Yep.
And you'd have to pay for them, and you wouldn't be able to stay under the same.
Yeah, and as I said, you're dragging 2 or 3 at a time. There's your 9 or 10 points, and it's pretty hard to cover. Well, we look at Geelong West today. They're going to run at 42 at 42, so they haven't got a lot of room to move either in their side. But as I said, Anarchy. They've got to be competitive. They were a couple of weeks back where they stayed with North Geelong, and probably different opposition out there this afternoon. But you would think East Geelong will be far too good. Another game this afternoon is Bellpost Hill.
Just before you do that, let's scrap the point system. Well, they've got about 47 points, Anarchy.
Yep.
I wonder how much they're playing. Well, if they're playing at 40 or 47, what's the use of it?
Yep. Well, again, we can probably check that out for you if we just flick back through my sheets here. 43 or 46 they are. 43
or 46.
So they can only afford really another one player, and that's really a 3-pointer. But again, they're pretty hard to come by as well.
Well, can't they just make a law that if you've only won 1 game in 2, then 3 years, don't worry about the points. Give them a chance to go and get some players and forget about the point system for them. Because the quality of player that they're getting, and don't worry about it, they're having a go. They're not having a go at them at all that way. But they're just not up to GDFL football, a lot of them, and that's why they're finding it so hard.
Well, as he said off-field the club's going as good as it's probably ever gone, but on-field they're just having that trouble winning games of football. And as I said, you can only go on so long and be in that position, I think, and they've got to change things very quickly, and hopefully for that club they can, because they've been around for a long, long time, and we'd hate to see them fall by the wayside. I don't think that's ever going to happen, but as I said, you'd like to see them win. So a bit like a road, being able to just attract 2 or 3 players each time that they get these points drop off, and the following year be able to get 2 or 3 new blokes into the side. So, and so that's...
they're not winning either.
Who?
Carrier.
But they're in games longer than they have been.
They are, but I mean, it all counts in the end in winning. So, and again, there's point system. But you can come back. Like Newcombe were basket cases for quite a few years in the Ballerine.
Yep.
And now they're competitive against some sides. So,
yep.
So I don't know how you do it. Like, if you have a look at that league, I don't know where Port Arlington are going to go.
Well, that's true. That's true. As I said, Bellpost Hill, they've got a home side today, and they take on Winchelsea, and unfortunately for their full forward, he won't be taking any part after kicking 17 last week and getting a 2-week suspension. So Will Ford will be able to sit the game out and just enjoy the afternoon up there, but I suppose disappointing Winchelsea last week at home to the Belmont Lions, but Belmont Lions, to their credit, got over top. Today, how do you see them going up there at Bellpost Hill?
Well, I had this, well, not an argument, but I had this chat with Rob. He wrote them off at the start of the year. And just to look at the depth of their players, I didn't write them off. And I said, no, I think when they come good, well, they can come good. Their players, once they learn to play with each other, I think they might be a threat. And up until last week, their form was pretty good. But losing that game against Belmont's dropped them away from the 5. They're not going to make the 5 now. So, Rob, you were right, I was wrong. But you sort of hope that when you get a lot of new players into a side that hasn't had a lot of success, they come back and they move the club up the ladder. They're going okay, but last week's was a debacle for them. Belpost Hill, every time we seem to see Belpost Hill, they play good enough footy to win. They beat West, they beat East, and then the following week those sides come out and play great footy again. So Belpost Hill must be doing something right, and they'll do something right up there today by winning the game, I think, reasonably easily.
Okay, so any of their good players, they've obviously lost forward, and Cosio, obviously, he'll go and play at the full forward position, but they had 2 or 3 blokes out last week. Fisher was the ruckman. Is he likely to come back, or is he?
Well, put it this way, I heard they were trying to get Ren Lovett back from Great Western, so if Fisher was fully fit, I think he's got a knee injury.
And Matty James was struggling too, but he hasn't played for some time either.
No. So, is he playing today?
Again, see, that's something I don't sit down and look at the sides anymore like we used to.
It doesn't matter. You see them on the computer, and they're completely different sides when they run out, so you don't really worry about that. And I got these mixed up this morning, and I'll get them mixed up again now, but the boy that's been playing, Danielle.
Yes, he's got a brother, hasn't he?
He's playing too.
Oh, okay.
He's been named in the side, Nick and Chris. So it looks like Nick and Chris. They're very certain to get Timmy Barton back in the next couple of weeks.
Yep.
Ford will come back after his 2 weeks holiday.
So you put those guys there into that side, as they all said. Yes, Matty James, and get that Ruckman Fisher back into the side if that's going to be possible. If that sounds like it's gone by the wayside, at least the other 2 blokes, I suppose, just having a crack. That's what they've asked them to do, just to get them through.
One way or the other, they have to have one, because the 2 blokes doing the ruck, as much as they played very, very well when the West Ruckman went down, but they're not real big blokes, Warrington and Bo Burney, and I think they could be utilised somewhere else. One of them even as a second ruckman, but they're just not big enough. When they strike blokes, if they come out here to Inverleigh like Wilson and some of these really tall...
McEwen Walsh is a backup second.
They're going to be in a bit of trouble. So they've got to get a ruckman no matter what. And hopefully they do for them.
Yeah, as I said, it's as I said, I don't know much about the Winchelsea side. I've sort of looked at them, and they've been okay. As we said, we thought they might have shaped the top 5, and even speaking to Butch, they were hopeful when they got a few more players back that they could actually beat the Belmont Lions and that group of sides, like North Geelongs and all that. But last week, as I said, that was I don't suppose it was what you call it a disgrace, but again, without seeing the game, they obviously didn't perform at their best, and obviously Belmont Lions were, and with Jarks, I think he kicked 6 or something like that, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
So he's obviously setting themselves up pretty well there. Winchelsea, so we're saying Belpost Hill at home would be a pretty good bet, wouldn't it? Yep, so I agree. Righto. The Werribee side, they're at home again this week after a pretty good performance last week against Bannockburn for the 3 quarters. Just couldn't hold that last quarter together. He's come up against North Geelong, and you said this morning, Grub, I spoke to you said they get a few players back, North Geelong, so that would make a little bit of difference, and they would need every one of them to be in playing.
Yeah, well, I had a look through their list, and some of their good players are back. I think it's last week was one of the strongest sides they had in for the whole year. And they ran Thompson. They almost beat Thompson, actually. They were fantastic. But on the other hand, Werribee were fantastic against Bannockburn. That was a really good game. Both sides, who have been disappointing because of injuries and unavailabilities, are starting to get some of these players back. And I'll tell you what, that might be a pretty good game down there. Obviously, the heart says I've got to go for the Centurions, and they'll lynch me if I don't. But this could be a real thriller.
Yeah, as I said, I was pretty impressed with the way they played last week. They even though Bannockburn are pretty strong, for my part, they actually dictated through the middle of the ground, and Tyler Crennan was really, really good. Obviously, he got the best player on the ground last week. Obviously, having Pat Daly back in their side has obviously helped them along, because they're able to have a big bloke in the middle of the ground that actually can control a bit of ruck work. And as I said, we don't like to say they're invaluable, but he's pretty important to the way Werribee function, I think.
Oh my word! Well, we've seen when Werribee made the finals 2 years before the COVID, and they played pretty good footy, and they come up against Bannockburn twice in the finals. And Broman was probably the best player on both occasions, for no other reason than, he's a good player, but Fulton fed him. I think Nick Smith played the full-back in the ruck for a while, and he gave them all a go, and he just destroyed Werribee Centrals. But last Saturday, he lowered his colours in the ruck to Paddy Daly, so that's a very important part of their game.
Yep. So they've got some other good players. Rizzy Pismal. We've got some few of the older boys still playing, still on their side. And again, without knowing too much more about them, did they make any more changes this week, or are they pretty much as they were last week?
Pretty much. I don't think there's much coming. I think the kids stayed in. I think it's a pretty wide spectrum. You know, like Priz, who played very, very well last week. Koutsamanis is getting on a bit, and Speziali. And then you got some 16-year-olds come up from the under 16s. You know, like Kid Stevens played pretty well. And Pat, or the bloke, you couldn't say his name. I can't say it either.
Paddy Age or something. Paddy Age. That's as close as we got last week, and we'll obviously hear if that's not quite 100%.
But we've got a couple of kids in the under 18s, like young Murdoch, and that they're pretty good players, and they're playing in Division 2 this year. And I think they're on top. I think they're undefeated. So.
Okay, because they played Bang Ben last week, didn't they?
What a great game that
was.
Yeah,
you said that was a good game of football.
There, they were no goals 7. But they were only, 3-4 goals behind.
Yep.
And they just kept going and going and going and ended up winning. So, you might get something out of a few of those blokes as well. All
right, so we both agree there. I think that Werribee Centrals will be too strong at home, and they will take care of North Geelong this afternoon. So, Thompson are at home to Corio. And I know we speak about this on a regular basis, and we've always mentioned Corio's consistency that they provide, but they just can't seem to get a full 4 quarters out of themselves. We'll need to do that if they're going to get any chance out there this afternoon at Thompson.
Well, they will. Where's Dylan Shelley? Is he playing?
I don't know. I don't know whether he's injured. I don't know whether he's just not playing because he doesn't want to, or where he is, because as I said, as a kid with that talent, you put him back into their side, and it gives them a pretty good option up forward to play across the half bank to steal them up back there if they wanted to do that.
Well, it does, and when you look at the actual players, some of the players that Corio got, Darren Bennett's as good as anyone in the comp, and his brother's playing almost as well at the moment, young Toby. He's been doing a great job. Lockie Sharp can play a bit. Destin Burns, they got to the club, can play a bit. So you add your Dylan Shelleys and a couple like that, and they start getting better. Look, they're doing great off the field, and I commend them for that. But now it's time that somehow they've got to move up the ladder.
Yep. The replacement for Mark Stewart's obviously the big important one, isn't it? Because obviously he's not going to continue to go around. You wouldn't think for too much longer, although
I don't know.
I don't know the way he's performing at the moment. He's a big bloke to play in the centre, and he's got to take a good bloke to jump over the top of him all day. Thompson, on the other hand, they're going along pretty nicely. They had a win last week. Again, you said it wasn't too impressive against North Geelong.
No.
They're one of the sides that now, in this contest, we're talking about percentage, this is a game that they want to win, and want to win pretty damn well, just to make sure that if they're going to get into that top 5, that every bit of percentage they can get will be very important in a game like today.
Well, I think they're in a bit of trouble today. I think they'll still win, but they've got 15 blokes out from COVID.
At Thompson?
Yeah. Now, I don't know, or flu or whatever. Now, I don't think that's 15 out of the seniors.
Yep.
But let's hope it's no more than, 5 or 6, because then it gives Corio a chance.
Yeah. As I said, must be going around the place. I think we spoke about Newtown this morning. They're also in the same boat with quite a few of their senior players out.
I never told anyone that.
No, well, I did.
I tipped a big upset.
Yep.
And no one else knew they had 8 players out.
Yeah.
Fano told me.
Yeah, no, well, it was obviously true, because we heard that this morning. So it could be very interesting to see what will happen there. Now, Belmont.
I wasn't sure it would be true, because why would you listen to Fano?
Yeah, well, that's true, but as I said, Jackie McLean come in, and we asked him at work, and he's a Newtown boy, and he said the same thing, that they've got quite a few out with COVID. So
Fano was supposed to bring me all these USB sticks, and he rang me 14 times during the week. I'll bring them, and he still didn't bring them, the goose. So I hope you're listening, Fano. I told everybody I'll give them to him, and now I can't because you didn't bring them.
So we've got one more game to go through before we come back to our main game here this afternoon. Belmont Lions are at home to Bannockburn, and again, down there on their home track, I've always said that they are a better side. They play better football at their home ground. We saw the Bannockburn side against Werribee last week. They did enough to get over the top to kick 7 in the last quarter, but again, they've got a few options up forward that might just trouble the defence of Belmont Lions.
Well, I think they will, and it depends too. Like when you got a bloke like Cole running around, you can actually afford to put Fulton down forward.
Yeah, right, mate. So we're talking about getting Fulton. He went forward last week. Probably didn't have a great effect on the game last week, and probably just He only got a couple of goals, I think. But Jackie Brown got 6 of them. But he was just one of those blokes that he was a little bit sore too after speaking to him after the game. So I'm not too sure whether he got through training this week and they're going to arrest him, or whether they'll just persist with him and get to the bye and then worry about it after the bye. But
well, they might too. But he kicked 3. But I've just got the feeling with the defence that Werribee had, the size of the defenders, I think if they had to put him down, say at half time, he might have got 6 or 7. Then they would have probably had to bring Yates back when he was kicking the goals for Werribee. So they would have probably had to bring Yates back to plant him, because they haven't got anyone else to plant him. But when you got Cole, as I say, Paddy Daly is probably beaten Fulton. But when Cole went into the ruck, I thought Paddy Daly probably still won, but he didn't win by any more.
Yep. And
then they had a live wire down there. So, but you blokes, I know you blokes went for Tyler Crennan. I went for Jackie Broman, because without Jackie Broman, I think Werribee might have won that.
Yeah, that was probably true. As I said, he plays a pretty consistent brand of footy. I've been impressed, as I said, the last 2 or 3 times with Bill Ritchie. We saw him here against Inverleigh. Very impressive, and he's, as I said to him, really wears Matty Tockins number 2. They're a very similar style of player.
Like him, doesn't he?
Yeah, it does, especially when you associate with the number 2. So it's going to be interesting. As I said, the Battaglia boys, they both played pretty well last week, and Tristan and Lockie got, I think, in their best players.
Yeah, I didn't have either of them in mind. I don't know really how they did I?
Yeah, no, actually, I looked at it this week just to see how they went, and I think they had the Middleton boys in there as well, and I don't think we had them in there as well. But I'll go, Lockie Middleton's come into their side, and I think we saw in the day they played here against Inverleigh, provides that little bit more strength into their middle contest, which allows then Jack Brown to play as a permanent forward. So
that helps. I thought Lockie played okay. I thought Willie, I didn't see much of Willie. I thought he had a day off, but they gave it to him. But Belmont, they got some pretty good kids, young Barsick and
Cogsy was telling me about him during the week.
Yeah,
Brock Marnie
play a bit.
Yep.
You got Evans, the big bloke Evans running around. He tries his guts out. Jarks is a class player down forward. Look, Bissett's been texting me all week saying, how come you're not picking us? Well, I'm not picking you this week because I don't think you'll win. I picked him this morning. I picked Bannockburn this morning on hashtag.
Yep. Because
I knew Bissett was listening. He won't be listening now, so I'm going for Bannockburn.
Yeah, no, I think Bannockburn will win down there. As I said, it's not an easy hole for them to go down there. Some clubs just don't play well at different grounds, and I reckon this is probably one where the Bannockburn side don't play that well. They've got a couple of young kids in their side as well, so it'll be an interesting contest out there this afternoon, and hopefully they get a good game of football out at the Lions Den. So, going to take a short break, come back, and we'll go through today's game here this afternoon. As we said, Inverleigh are taking on the Geelong West Giants. It's 1 versus 2. You're listening to 94.7 The Pulse, your home of local football.
$135, what are we going to speak about now? Can't even sing a song.
I know.
Call the reserves game.
Yeah. He's going to be calling the whole season game by himself nearly. He's not going to call the season. Oh. It's the worst kick I've ever seen. They got a goal. He's in the studio.
Natural Mystic drawn the outside alley. Fazabeel going into the stores. Fazabeel with the inform Michael D. A last start lead and winner. In fact, in the field of 15, we have plenty of last start winners.
Nah, mate, he's struggling big time in there today, mate. So it could be an interesting afternoon this afternoon. Oh, well, that's all right, mate. As I said, there's no rush to come back. We haven't got an interview this afternoon, so just put a few more ads in there if you want to.
With Damien Thornton, and Natural Mystic will be the last to come along.
The Carlton, nah, that's what we just said. That we just thought about that.
Switched around, seems to be a little bit of a hit across the window in the home straight. As Natural Mystic completes the line of the field is set. 2,000 metres. Pace are back and they're racing. The count of Sancerre goes back to the end of the field with and also with those flying makers in stride on the course. Natural distinct training across, but that isn't too far in. There's Jamie to claim it and gets us on the inside of the untackable. There's also steadily trying to tell us Gary Natural Listing as they reach the 15 metres, and that would be 1, 2 of the 14. The untackable further rounds and then came to further back in the field. There's the claimant, there's Amy around it, and then something for the half commander. Rigoletto in limited room, just got a bit of a check here on Fancy. Following by top inside from Country's Light, and then came Sazaville, Matsuika. Flight Deckers on the outside, the count of Sancerre at the end. Kite Teller is the leader by 3/4 of a length to Natural Mystic, who moved across from that outside draw. Just in 3/4 of a length off the leaders, they slap in the tempo through half one. Next along the inside by the untackable from Elzani. Then came Inverleigh on the inside with the quick road from Elzani. Next in the field is Country's Light.
Righto, mate, when you're ready. Moreton Bay power over is bathed in sunshine at the moment, and in the reserve game at the moment it is Inverleigh leading 5-10 to Geelong West on 1-5, so doing it quite nicely, and considering the amount of players that they've pushed through their system at the moment, Inverleigh, they're doing quite nicely. As I said today, Billy Cations I think comes back into the side this afternoon. Scotty Condy is in the side. Buck Donahue didn't play last week, he's back in this afternoon. I think Dean Muir, I'm not too sure that he played last week either, Grubby, and Benny Bowman in for one of his only a few of his handful of senior games, and Matt Ward, another one that I'm not too sure whether has played a lot of senior football during the course of the year. So 5 or 6 blokes coming back into their side, and probably would need them because West aren't going along that too poorly actually at the moment. They're going pretty well and would really trouble Inverleigh out here this afternoon.
Well, I think they might, because they've still got a fair few players out in Inverleigh, and I don't think it's illness or COVID, I think it's just injuries. I think they thought about putting Casey Million back in today, but thought better of it, which I think is a good idea, bring him back after the bye. You don't want him going up for a mark and doing his fingers again, so that's a good one. And Donahue, I'm not quite sure whether he's 100% fit, so I think you'll probably see him play deep forward for most of the game. I don't think he'll be running around too far. But, yeah, look, as I say, all clubs are going to get hit by either COVID or injuries at some point this year, and I think Inverleigh, maybe lucky Inverleigh, that they've actually getting them now, not come August, September. You know, you'd hate to have a great year then lose a lot of players. I think the other fella's still out too. Is he young Mason Dixon, the kid we saw here?
Mason Dixon there. He did has he done a collarbone or something I think I just can't remember sitting there. I did hear what he was going to do, but anyway, he's definitely still not in. Toby Manganelli's still not back in their side.
Yeah.
And we said Casey Meehan. And there's probably 3 or 4 others if you went through their list. I've got their book here, but he's I'm pretty sure he's done. I've got an elbow, shoulder, collarbone, something along those lines anyway, so he's going to miss probably 3 or 4, maybe 5.
Here the day we were here.
No, I think he did it
against East.
No,
he come off against East.
Yeah, no, I don't think it was that day, but it was done the last game, I reckon. But they've still got a side which I suppose when you look at it, Grub, as I said, without that bone playing in their ruck, they're going to hold that as a big advantage, especially with Luke Wilson and Cad McEwen Walsh being the backup, going up against Reece Ginn, who did most of the work last time. Was it wasn't who else did the ruck work for him? I just can't remember now. When we saw him a couple of weeks back when he left the ground, there was but it's going to be a big task for him in the middle of the ground. If they can win or square off the contest in the middle, it may give them some chance to get that the score on the board and win.
I can't see that happening because to me, the game changed when Bone went off the ground. It looked like he was going to tear him to pieces, and when he went off, blokes like Bernie and Warrington, they took over the ruck, and they're not big enough. So, they lost the big advantage that they had. And if Bone's not playing, I don't know if there's another bloke they've brought in, a big bloke, I don't know. But they're going to need one because Wilson's form this year has been as good as his form for his whole career, I reckon.
Yep. Well, so Michael Lima, he also did his hamstring before the game, or halfway before half-time last week. Sorry, Adam Lima. Michael Lima's back in today, so that's a bonus for them because he provides, I reckon, a few options for him. He can play half-back, he can play wing. For me, I still think he's the bloke I'd be having up forward, and that allow him to have a free rein, and then you've got to take a pretty good backman to play on him as well. Considering they've got Blake Dye down there, we know can lead and has been kicking a lot of goals during the course of the year. And I think Jack Follett will get him, so it'll then stretch the Inverleigh defence to having Lima forward with the 2 or 3 others, especially when you've got Brad Mitchell's in the side. And the other bloke, Ryan Gans, is also a pretty big mark. Now, I don't reckon he played the last time we saw him at
I don't think he did.
Belpost Hill as well. So
I don't think he did.
So they've got some pretty good inclusions coming into that side. Obviously, a little bit more grunt with Alex Hahn coming into the side also.
Yeah, good to see him back in the seniors, but I don't know. With West, we watched them and they didn't play that really well that day, and Belpost Hill beat them. But then East didn't look much either the day they played Belpost Hill. They came out and beat Inverleigh. So
and West went and beat East Geelong last week. So
so maybe Belpost Hill are just making sides not play their best football. I don't know. But they really, as I say, they really need to get someone in the ruck that, as you were right, to nullify rather than try and win the ruck, just nullify it. Because if Wilson can get his tap outs right, he was like an interleague ruckman. As a matter of fact, I think he won the player of the day in the interleague game against the North. And if he gets his ruck work right, he's going to give Tyke on an armchair ride, who's almost probably form-wise as good a player going around in the GDFL at the moment. If he gets an armchair ride, that's where they'll be very, very dangerous in Inverleigh.
Because the other one too, with Blake Hutchison's still not on their side. Nathan Mays is not on their side.
He pulled out, I think.
Yep. We also spoke Brad Circuit still on the day we saw him the first time we saw him here.
He's a worry. He's a worry. We get to round 9.
Yep.
And he's only played 1 game out of 9.
That's it. And I think there's Mick Wells is another one. So they've still got probably 8 players that could, once fully fit, could come back into this side, and obviously with that, then it obviously strengthens right through. And you've got 2 or 3 blokes that aren't going to play probably for the rest of the year. Yeah. Geordie Drew, not too sure he is, and obviously Pete Plummer, who hasn't even had his knee reconstructed yet. So
is he coming back? He won't be coming back.
Well, I don't know what his intentions are. I know, so it makes it pretty hard when you consider the amount of depth that they would have had all these blokes being fully fit and available for selection.
Yeah, look, the other thing you said before too about Jack Follett probably getting Blake Dye, that worries me because what Jack Follett does is he reads the play so well, and he knows when to leave his opponent, when not to, and they get a lot of attack out of him. But I tell you what, I wouldn't be leaving this bloke for too long because he'll cut you to pieces if you leave him alone. This Dye, he looked $1 million the last time we played him. So I think maybe you can try and get. Well, I don't think I'll put Crawley on him just quietly, but maybe there's someone else you can get to put down on him and let Jack Follett play his normal role.
Yeah, I still think Jack Follett's got to guard him. I think he's the best player they've got available, and he's, to me, if they're going to stop him, as I said, that's why I thought the options with, as I said, with Mitchell, Gans, and if you put Michael Lima down into that forward line, then it really does stretch Inverleigh's back 6, because you said Crowley, he's one of the blokes that can go back and play there. Other than that, you got Dan Groz, who provides a little bit of height, so he's got to take one of them, and he'd probably be a match for Lima. But after that, I'm not too sure where they go. Lockie Boyle, he might have to do one of those jobs if you're looking at mashups for those key forwards against their key backs. So it could be quite interesting to see if that does eventuate. But again, through the middle of the ground, you've still got guys like Dalton Grundle, you've got Jared Love. you'll have Condi probably may go through. I'm not too sure how and what they'll do with Billy Cases, whether they'll use him through the middle or just as a bench player. Louis Haygarth's in the side, probably more an outside player than an inside player. So it leads to a really good contest out here this afternoon.
Yeah, look, I just got a score through from Cogsy. Belmont Lions 3-4-22. Looks like they've been beaten by Bannockburn 20-15-135. So that's a complete thrashing out there in the twos. So they don't always go the same way, but I think you're probably talking club depth there. You know, like, and as I say, Inverleigh have got a lot of players out, and yet they've just whitewashed West here by 8-9 goals.
Yep.
So it just shows that some of these sides, especially the country sides, way out in the wood, they've got depth.
Well, they did at the start of the year. I think Inverleigh had 60 players. I said Billy McIntosh was running around out there this afternoon, you said. So I know he'd been trying to get across here for a little bit of time, but finally got himself a Guernsey. But again, we just spoke about Thompson. You look at Thompson today, you look at Newtown and Chilwell. If this COVID does bite, as it has in some of these clubs, it's going to really tip their depth, and also whether they have got enough blokes to actually bring up, and where they can find them to actually get a reserve game going.
Well, look, you know, and I'm not having a go at anyone here, but when North Geelong had them injuries and unavailabilities, they played Anarchy and damn near lost the game. And, you know, that means that their depth's
been stretched.
Struggling too, they're really stretched, because you'd have thought North would have won by a little bit more. But I'll tell you what else is happening today too. Now it's nearly 5 o'clock in the morning over in London, so I don't know whether the old fella might be just up yet, especially on his, I think it's about 83rd birthday. But we mentioned it this morning on hashtag. But this is the GDFL show, and I can tell you now, I think probably the most significant contribution the GDFL has ever seen, and probably ever will see. So happy birthday, Neville. I hope you're enjoying your time over in London, and have a great birthday and have a great trip, mate. Happy birthday. Yeah, no,
I endorse those sentiments to Nev. I hope he's having a good holiday, and he's likes to travel during the footy season, doesn't he? He likes to get himself away during the footy season, just does all the hard work off season, I think, and rewards himself a little break. And he's Sydney bound a couple of years ago. I think he's got family up there, hasn't he? Or was he?
Yeah, he gets up there a bit.
Yeah. So we.
Again, but obviously Philpott doesn't know, because he didn't bag him yesterday on the Dennis Gerland show.
Yeah, that'd be a good time. And as I said, I think he was still around when you said about 2 o'clock this morning. He was still up and about, so he might be making the most of what he's got over there this afternoon. So well done to him, and as I said, hope he enjoys his time while he's away.
Just Mike's an idiot.
The lad singing that.
Neville,
yeah. Well, we're going to take a short break again here. Are we going to take a short break?
I've got one more bit of sensational news.
All right, let us have it, Grub.
Georgie Cambosis has not made the weight for his fight with Devon Haney tomorrow. So they're giving him 2 hours to lose about 150 pounds or whatever it is, 150 grams, sorry.
163 grams, I think it was.
And I can tell you the upshot of that if he doesn't make the weight, the fight will still go ahead. His titles will be vacated. So Haney can't win him, but he can't win Haney's title either if he beats him. So let's hope Awesome George, or Awesome Cambos.
I don't know what they call him, mate. I'm not a boxing fan like yourself.
Right, let's hope he can make the weight for the next hour now, I suppose.
Mate, we'll go back to the studio now. We're going to take a short break, as we said. The Geelong West Giants are on the field. The umpires are on the field. I'm not too sure what time we're actually starting. Is it 2 o'clock? Was it? But the Inverleigh boys are starting to come out as well. So we'll take a short break and come back, and hopefully game won't be too far away from starting. You're listening to 94.7 The Pulse, your home of local football. Yeah, that's fine, mate. Yep. I don't think there's going to be any rush. As I said, I'm not too sure. We start at 2?
Should supposed to.
That's not too far away.
It's only 10-2.
Yeah.
Who's that bloke?
Shane Bremner. Oh. He was a gun, mate.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, the year I think they should have won the premiership. I don't know whether he was playing when Mark Dowell was here. It might have been before that when they played one year. He was playing on the wing. Actually, before I took over. Toby Manganelli's another one that hasn't played.
Yeah.
Ryan Robinson's another one. Ryan Robinson's another one.
He got himself last week as well.
Does he still play, Bremner?
He's given away now. He's having trouble with his shoulders, so he said work's more important. So he was just playing twos. He was just having enough run around the twos.
Yeah.
Yes, mate. Coming to fiend. Yep. That's right.
No, sponsor for the ground, I think, was Morton Power.
Morton Power Oval.
Well, here comes the rain.
It's the rain. As I said, this is what we got coming over. Did you get this morning when you come out?
No.
All good.
Righto, mate.
Right, mate. Yes, welcome back. Moreton Bay Oval was bathed in sunshine 5 minutes ago, but now we've got a drop of the old sunshine. What's wrong?
I thought you said Morton Bay.
Oh, I probably did. Moreton Bay Bugger. I was thinking, actually, it was about food again, Grubby.
Food.
Yeah, no, but again, the day may have just turned a little bit, a bit of a dark cloud out the back, and as I said, rain is now falling at the ground. We hope it doesn't stay too long because we are looking forward to a really good contest out here this afternoon. As I said, both sides would look to or want to take some advantage over the opposition here this afternoon. As I said, it's important that both clubs keep winning and get to that top spot. Anything more than finishing the top three would be equally important this afternoon, and for the season to be set up for them. And we said, Grub, before the game, a lot of changes into the Inverleigh side. Which and how are you looking at this game, and who's going to win?
Well, I think normally at Inverleigh, I'd be quite happy to pick the Mighty Hawks out here. But we saw Bannockburn nearly bowl them over. We saw East Geelong bowl them over. And obviously it's because of their injuries. And look, I know people make excuses about that, but they've got a lot of injuries, as you mentioned before. Ryan Robinson, I think we forgot about, and he's a really good player. And I see Toby Manganelli out there having a kick in his civvy. So, look, normally I think I'd stick with Inverleigh because the only time I've seen West is when they got beat by Belpostal, and they didn't play that well that day. But they must have played well last week. I think if they're ever going to get Inverleigh, it'll be now. And I'm going to tip them to do just that today, just.
Yeah, well, as I said, we mentioned those players: Blake Hutchison, Nathan Mays, Mason Dixon, Brad Circuit, Casey Meehan, Toby Manganelli and Mick Ross have probably all got to come back into that side, you would think, and that will add a fair bit of firepower to them. So we are just about to start the game here this afternoon, and umpires have got the ball in the air. First quarter, Commonafine Hotel scoreboard is brought to you. As I said, now the ball is thrown in the air and it's going to be tapped away, goes towards Love. Umpire said there's a holding decision. It's going to go. First kick's going to go to Matty Tycoon from the middle of the ground. He's going to load up and he goes quickly into their forward lane, goes walking towards Donahue. Ball gets over the back. Grundle comes out, has got the ball, stops, props, looks on the right foot and goes bang and puts it straight through the middle. He's got his first goal of the afternoon and it's a first score on the board, and it is to Inverleigh. So they'll move to 1 goal straight. That's taken less than 25 seconds to score. Dalton Grundle, the goal kicker.
Well, if that's not the most perfect start I've seen this year, I don't know what was, because they're lucky to get the free kick, and I'm obviously there. And I don't think West have touched the ball yet. And they went down there, and Grundle, he had a bloke on, so he had to kick it, and he did just that. And I like to see him do that, because the games I saw him play earlier, I didn't think Dalton Grundle was playing up to his best. And then they throw him in the forward line here and there, and I think he can be very, very dangerous. He's such a great kid too. You like to see young fellas like that play really well. So that was really good football coming out of the middle. As I say, it was from a free kick, but it'll be interesting because the young fella jumped up and went okay against Wilson the first one, but he's got to try and do that all day.
Yeah, that's Reece Ginn. So as we said, he's probably the only bloke that's out there with a little bit of size. There's not too many others that he's got those options to throw in behind him. So
who's that with Hahn out there? Is that Young?
That's Young, yes, yeah, Jared Young. Yeah.
A bit of a bump and contest.
So the ball back in the middle this time again. Wilson up over the top, running forward again. Balls comes out, it's kicked off the ground by Love, works into the half forward line, now deeper into the forward pocket. Cadman Welsh, he chases the ball, and his opponent with him is a player out there in Turner. So they win possession once again, they get the ball out. Again, quick hands, ball is kicked forward into the forward line, picked up. Lima must be playing back. He delivers the ball and goes to the back pocket. So now Geelong West from the back line, they go out towards centre wing. The ball got plenty of carry on it. Actually, the only player looking at the ball was the Inverleigh player,
free kick,
and I thought it should have been a free kick, but umpire says no, that was okay.
It was Dan Gross bowled over down here a minute ago. I thought that was a free kick too.
So it's Gill is now with the umpire, far side of the ground, and it's going to be young Reece Ginn doing the ruck work. Again, Wilson up over the top, ball goes back towards the boundary line, and good tackle out there. Umpire says he didn't have the ball. Free kick is going to go to Geelong West, and I just can't see the player out there. Grub, you need your binoculars and help me out there if you got him with you. He's not going to turn around now, so we won't know who it is. So Geelong West now from defensive side of centre wing, look to deliver the ball longer down the ground, kick towards the half forward line, ball gets out the back of the contest, and again kicked off the ground into the hands there of Blake Dye. I'm not too sure what he was trying to do with that kick, but it didn't go anywhere near he wanted to. Ball goes over the boundary line, and we're going to have a throw in to take place, and that is going to be on the half forward line for Geelong West.
I think that kid might have been Josh Taylor.
So the ball is thrown back in, bit of breeze there. Wilson again knocks it back towards centre wing. Out there, Ianelli takes possession of the ball. He's tackled by Love. Ball comes out in the contest. They pick the ball up in the lead. They work it towards centre wing, picked up by Burke. Handball goes back inside. Tyquin. A little bit of a blind handball there, but it went to Jared Love. He's tackled, ball to ground. Umpire in very quickly and says there's no prior opportunity there. He will take possession of the ball.
And he was completely correct too. Good decision.
That rain has now persisted and is staying with us for a little while. Ball goes back outside again, picked up. They look to bring the ball back inside. They see Ianelli. Handball was good. Smother was there by Burke, and again that's done nicely. An Inverleigh player on the far side of the ground. He hasn't got up yet, so they need to get someone out there. Ball goes into their forward line, comes through, picked up there, kick towards goal, and it's going to be brought back and too far. And I'm not too sure. I think that may have been Ted Wallace out there that kicked that behind.
He's in a bit of trouble, this kid.
I'm not even too sure who it is. Do we know who it is?
No, I can't see his number. He doesn't look too good. He hasn't got up.
So the ball now with Temple in the full back position. You could be on that grub. We'll keep going with the ball. Oh, that was a kick, and that should have been a kick down the field, and it will be. A late tackle there. Not too sure why they even did that, but ball is now back on centre wing, and they're asked to play on now. They kick the ball through the middle of the ground, going forward. Grundle's there, Green possession, picks it up, got the handball back inside to Cations, needs to get handball away, did so, back to Grundle, runs inside, handballs over the top, back to Paddy Burke, from 15 out, here goes a goal, and he's got his first goal of the afternoon, and that is the second now for Inverleigh. They've started pretty nicely out there. They are 2 straight, and they lead Geelong West, who are 1 behind. We have gone 4 minutes Commonafine Hotel, first quarter scoreboard.
Well, they've got one from the centre now, one from defence. They're going to stop the game. They actually call for a stretcher, but they're not going to use one. I still can't work out who it is. Beard, Nelly, have a look through them. You got the beard.
Okay, but I don't know him, mate, so there might be Matt Ward. I don't know. There's a new bloke coming to the side, but I'm not too sure who it is.
But anyway, a bit of lack of discipline for a down-the-ground free.
Oh, it's Louis Haygarth.
It is Louis Haygarth.
Yes, that's what it is.
So that might put him one down for the day by the way he's moving. Again, I don't know why you don't play.
Now he's out of the area now, and he's not on the thing. I know he's injured, but
he's not on the stretcher. No. I think the game's got to keep going. Now, just watch where he goes off. I don't think they're taking him for. Oh yes, they're going to take him for the interchange just in case. Well, if they've stopped the game like that, they should let the bloke run on.
Yes, yeah.
Just to.
So Bowman looks like he's coming in to replace him now. Keith is going to swap positions. He's going to go to the far side of the ground. The ball back in the middle again, and this time it's Wilson again. Gets a clean tap out, goes towards their centre wing. Hahn had it, couldn't hang on to it for long. Picked up by Love, looking for some options with a hand, and does so. Gets it away to Brown. Kick was smothered there by Hahn. Goes back and collects it. Goes into their forward line. Filer comes out. Didn't take clean possession of the ball, but he's got the handball away into the hands now. Goes towards Brown. Attacked Burke. Got to attack the ball nicely. Tyquin over the top. Puts the handball back inside to Young. Young picks the ball up. He's got the handball away. They're working around with it, but they work it nicely to Templeton, who puts boot to ball, and it goes into their forward line. Coming through is Donahue. Picked the ball up. Got a handball short to Tyquin. Tyquin from 40 kicks towards goal, and I'll tell you what, they've got the kicking boots on this afternoon because that is the third, and they move now to 3 straight goals. Geelong West are 1 solitary behind. 7 minutes gone. Commonafine Hotel, first quarter scoreboard.
Yeah, just the look on Donahue's face as he went in there. I don't think he's 100% fit, but he went in hard. Jack Filet down here. How hard did he go in and bowl that bloke over with his eyes on the ball? That's just great football.
It was Braden Mitchell, I think he got as he's coming through. So some good football to start this game, and again that dominance in the middle of the ground from Luke Wilson at this stage is proving very invaluable. And they've started the game the way they wish they had have, and they're going along pretty nicely. West now have got to answer the challenge, and again Reece Gin doing the ruck work inside. Again Wilson tried to be fancy there, got it down to Young though. Ball comes out in the tackle, and now he dives on top of the ball, got the handball out, went to Gerard, he got whatever, there's a handball, went to Grozdanovsky, handball goes over the top, back into the hands of Love, who goes now towards the half forward line. Finno Coos out there in front, couldn't take the mark. Lima from behind, put enough pressure on him, did nicely, kept the ball in, went to Kieran Walsh, he got the ball along the ground, and now Geelong West through this agency of their player out there, and I think that was Thomas Burke, got the ball towards their half forward line. Ball runs back towards the boundary line. They work towards the line, and it will go over. There's going to be a throw-in to take place on that far side of the ground in front of the scoreboard. So umpire now to restart play, throws the ball back in. Wilson gets the ball down. Love again, effective, gets the ball quickly going forward. Kevin Welsh can't get the ball down to the ground. Well, he has got the ball down to the ground. Went back and collected, got a quick handball away. Picked up there again, kick forward into the forward line. The ball is running towards the goal. I tell you what, that's another one. I think that was Finno Keith, was it?
I think so.
So he's got his first goal of the afternoon, and they are kicking him from just about anywhere. Their fourth of the afternoon sees them at 4 goals straight, and Geelong West are 1 solitary behind. 9 minutes gone. Buckley's Entertainment, Commonafine Hotel, first quarter scoreboard.
It just looks to me like people have been saying, they've got a lot of blokes out and they're not playing well and their form hasn't been good. And it looks to me like they've jumped out of the box saying, well, we'll show you, because they are just doing everything right. They're going in hard, they're kicking straight. And even if that held up and didn't get a goal, Donahue would have been onto it and kicked it himself. So great start, the Hawks.
So back in the middle again. Ball is thrown up again. This time Wilson taps the ball down. It's West through the middle of the ground. They kick the ball into the half-forward line. Coming out to eat the ball there was Wallace. Head over the ball, went back and collected. Now he's tackled, needs to get it out. Tries to, is held up. Umpire said no prior opportunity. I would have thought, but he did try, but unfortunately it was held up. And now the free kick will go to Templeton. So Templeton now from the half-back line, takes a bounce, put himself under a bit of pressure. Ball comes back to him into the hands of Grozanowski, and he goes towards centre wing. Grundle's there, support from over the top, and a number of players there, and Edwards it is that sees the ball over the boundary line. So a little bit of reprieve there. They're able to get numbers back behind the ball.
Well, it was good thinking by Grundle, because there was 3 on 1. He's not going to mark it, so he made sure any of the other 3 didn't.
So the ball now thrown back in by the umpire, this time Wilson out back to Love. That was nicely done. Goes into the forward line. Grundle goes across. Had a good hold on it. The ball comes down, picked up there by Viney. Viney gets the handball away. They run through the half-back line through Turner. Turner gets the ball back. His little short kick is okay. And again, they settle things down on the half-back line. So now Geelong West with some work to do. As we said, a bit of pressure being applied by Inverleigh. They run the ball around the boundary. They go back, a long kick towards centre wing. That's a good kick, but the mark is going to be taken out there, possibly Boyle and Boyle, and yes,
50.
And now he's going to get 50.
He's gone inside the 5 metres.
So that's a costly error there from Boyle, I think it was. And now Inverleigh will be able to transfer play to inside or just on 50. So Boyle now goes long into the forward line. Donohue's there, takes the mark, plays on, got the handball to Cadman Welsh. He was trying to kick it in mid-air, didn't try to pick the ball up. Ball is now pushed through, and it is going to be a minor score for 1 to Inverleigh, and 1 soldier behind Geelong West Giants. Kicking in duties for Geelong West. They're going to come clubroom side, which is unusual. He plays on. Kick wasn't good, but it didn't travel too fast. Gone straight into the hands of Dean Muir, and he takes the mark, and he's inside 50. Can go back and shoot for goal. Probably the breeze is favouring that end grub, but it's as what it's worth. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I watched the goals in the seconds. It was dragging it that way, so a lot of it's going across the ground.
So we need to go right post and let the breeze do the rest, you reckon?
Yeah, and I think it'll be a little bit behind him. I think he'll get the distance.
So Muir now steps in, kicks that goal. So wobbly off the boot, but it doesn't matter because it is over the line. And now we have another goal to Inverleigh. 5 individual goal kickers, their 5th of the afternoon. They're 5-1. Geelong West are 1 soldier behind. We have gone 12 minutes. Commonwealth Hotel, first quarter scoreboard.
We're going all right too. You reckon go for the right post and you're right. And also you've got the wind behind you, make the distance. And that's exactly what happened. And that's, again, a bad mistake by the fullback kicking out. He just went for the short one and it was just too short. You know, I worry in windy conditions when you go for these tricky little short passes. Just kick buggery out of it.
So Cam Brand grubby, he wouldn't be any taller than you by the looks of him, and he's in there doing some ruck work. So they are dragging all stalls now. Out the back, it was a nice little tap out, ends up in the hands of Love from Tyquin, goes into their half forward line, leading out down the race of the ball is Ward. Can't pick the ball up yet, has done so now, needs to get rid of it. The kick round the body was okay to Young. Umpire said he made contact over, didn't he?
I thought he did, but maybe he didn't. It's a long way away. No binoculars on it.
Anyway, we won't worry about it because the Geelong West Giants now have got the ball and they deliver the ball back towards centre wing, but standing in the contest.
What's happened here? I reckon it's going to be a free kick. I reckon someone bumped into the umpire.
I think Matty Tyquin must have run past him, I think, and must have knocked him over. So free kick. What? Oh, okay, I'm not too sure. Is that a rule, is it?
I don't know.
Anyway, it doesn't matter because Slater now puts the ball into their forward line. Ball gets in there, deep into their forward line, picked up out there. And again, they try and barge their way through. I'm not too sure it was. Might have been Ian Alley, was it? And the free kick is going to go to Inverleigh in the back pocket. So they win the ball in the back pocket. Boyle goes across the ground to Templeton. Templeton's got runners. Further afield, he goes wide and has Love. Love now can go to Bowman. They position themselves nicely all with the breeze. The ball's come back and it's go straight into the hands of Hutchison. He now delivers the ball back into their forward line, but he's kicked it straight back to Jared Love, and he's going to steady things down for Inverleigh once again. So Love in the back pocket, number of possessions in this game already. Delivers the ball long. Again, numbers are there with West. Coming up, Grundle from behind, taken out of his hands there. Picked up there. I think that was Finn O'Keefe took the ball away. Ends up in the hands now of a teammate, Turner of West. Now he was put down after the ball was kicked, and the free kick is going to be given, and that will go towards Wallace. So Wallace goes back into the middle of the ground. Iannelli picks the ball up, runs, carries the ball now, and looks to go long into their forward line, low and flat. That's a good kick, and ends up in the hands of Mitchell, who comes out. Don't know whether he was looking for a die there, but it went over the top, and Mitchell was in the right spot.
I don't know the rule, but I reckon it should have been the bloke free kick here.
Where it was kicked from?
Yeah.
Possibly, yes.
I mean, it was down the ground,
Yep.
but he kicked it backwards, so it was close to the goal from where he kicked it. So I think normally they bring it to the closest to the goal, don't they? when there's ever an encouragement.
So Mitchell now steps in, will kick from 50, went short, and again, I'm not too sure who he was looking for.
There's no one there.
It wasn't. It ends in the hands of Condi, and he goes back towards centre wing, picked up there by Grundle. Does nicely, gets around, his kick forward, didn't hit the target, but it's been pushed back into the middle of the ground, picked up in the hands there of Wallace. Wallace is tackled, and again Hutchison brings the ball across the ground, so there it goes towards Dwyer, and he looks to deliver the ball long and into the forward line. Numbers with Inverleigh, big spoil from Wilson from behind, picked up at the front of the contest there by Hoare, handballs over the top, put his teammate under a little bit of pressure. They try and win possession out of that contest. It's picked up again, Podner Carroll goes back to Dye goes back towards the full forward position, but Violet is back there by himself. Can't pick the ball up. Goes to Mitchell over the top. He needs support. Can't release it because there's Inverleigh players everywhere. Brown has it. He looks up and goes back towards centre wing. Ball is running towards the boundary line and will find the boundary line. And I think that was a good get out of jail kick there, and he did that pretty nicely.
Well, I think it went exactly where he wanted it to go. In AFL football, they play deliberate for that, and I'm just glad that they don't pay it here, because it's a good tactic.
So the ball now thrown back in contest. Wilson again should dominate and has been. Goes to Tyke on the front of the contest. Got the handball back to Grozdanowski. He looks back towards the middle of the ground. Again, West with some numbers there. Good tackle on the contest there by Burke. And he's brought the ball to ground, picked up there, delivered by Gans. He goes back out wide, running back towards the boundary line. Hasn't got there yet and is over the boundary line now. Will be thrown back in. Close proximity towards the Inverleigh scoring board over there on the far side of the ground from where we sit. And Wilson again doing the ruck work. This time the opposition ruckman in front was Brown, got it back to the front of the contest, and again West go forward. Crowley in front, comes up to the contest, takes the mark. Not dangerous kick across the goal, especially in these conditions, so now he plays on. That kick wasn't much better. Goes back outside 50, but West win possession of the ball. I'll tell you what, there's a few mistakes being made, both sides, and the ball back over the boundary line, and a free kick to Matty Tyke on far side of the ground.
Well, it's a tricky win, and when you throw in a few showers to go, it's not easy playing conditions out there, I can tell you.
So Tyke now, he loads up and he goes long, back towards centre wing. Good, I was going to say Linda's got a good pair of hands out there, couldn't take clean possession, tattles the ball in front of himself, tries to work his way through the contest, he can't get through, umpire comes in and takes possession. Far centre wing, far side of the ground. Again, Wilson up, does the ruck work, knocks it down. Picked up by Hahn. Gets in and out of trouble, got the handball away, put his teammate under a little bit of pressure. They've been able to work the ball nicely enough to get it towards the half forward line. And the mark has been taken out there. They play on now. They go quickly. That was by L. Goes back towards centre wing, and again, mark has been taken. They look to transfer play. I mean, in these conditions, that's going to be dangerous because Dwyer leads in the race for the ball. Picks it up nicely and now looks forward. A little short kick, but only as far as Muir. And again, the ball is turned over. Handball goes quickly to Brown. He couldn't handle it, so the ball's turned over once again. Picked up by Hoare. He goes back into the forward line. Coming up, Dye just ran through him, and he has taken the mark and will go back and kick towards goal. He's actually the only player that actually went for the ball then.
He read it the better. I think the other blokes were watching it swirl around in the wind thinking, where's this going to land? And he just went straight at it. And now he has to aim at the left post because the wind will take it right.
This will take a fair kick from this position. So Blake Dye steps in, kicks that goal.
Straight out in the 30 metre line.
Well, this is missed by a long way. Mark wasn't taken. Ball's gone over the boundary line. And there's going to be a throw in the back pocket.
I think we might be very, very lucky we're sitting in here, Smithy.
Yes.
I think it's worse out there than what it looks from here. Everything's suddenly become really hard.
So Ruckman go at it. Well, actually, Ruckman didn't go at it. It was Wilson that went at it. Handballs that over and ends up in the hands of Dye, who goes back towards the goal square. Spoil from behind, front of the contest. Kick back towards the goal square. Picked up. Crowley says, I'm going to take this back through and give them another behind for the quarter. That's their second. And Inverleigh are 5-1. They move the ball in quickly. Brown, it was Young that had the ball, goes out wide towards Templeton, tapped it back towards Violet. Good clean pick up, goes back towards Young, puts boot to ball, goes in towards the centre of the ground. Grozdanowski couldn't take it, picked up by Cations. Handball with the left hand, he goes towards centre wing, picked up by Muir. He looks back towards the centre half forward position. Mark is not taken by Young, picked up by Grundle, has Twycon running, hands the ball over to him, and he needs to pick the ball up and steady himself, does so, and he gets his second goal of the afternoon. And that is a 6 now for Inverleigh. They're running nicely, 6-1. They lead Geelong West on 2 straight behinds. We've gone almost 20 minutes. Conifine Hotel, first quarter scoreboard.
Well, the boys up forward certainly finished it off, but a big pat in the back there goes to Young. He had 2 or 3 goes at it. He bustled his way through. He got the footy. It came back to him. He kicked it again. And I tell you what, he's got grey hair and he looks a bit older than a lot of them. He's obviously one of the boys from the GFL come back, but by crikey, he played well there.
So umpire now with the ball back in the middle. Wilson doing the ruck work, and again his opposition is still going to be Cam Brown, giving away considerable size. Ball comes down, Muir got the handball away, handballs it only as far as Dwyer. Handball wasn't effective enough, picked up there by Cations, tried to get it out of the contest, probably got legged as he came out there. Again, the ball at ground level, and the umpire's got to come in. No, the ball actually works its way out of the contest, picked up and kicked forward there by Brown. That's a nice kick, found Iannelli. So Iannelli now is called to play on by the umpire, uses the ball towards the pocket, and Dyer's out there and takes a mark, decides to play on now, kicks back towards goal. It would need to be a good kick, but he is offline and through for a minor score. Now they're third for the afternoon.
He turned him around a bit, didn't he?
Yes.
He's a bit of a live wire. I think he's a good player, this kid.
So Templeton is going to do the kicking in duties once again, as he does most times. So Templeton now called to play on by the umpire, and he goes long, and that's a great kick out of defence. So there's a fair bit of carry out the back and goes to Wilson. Not too sure what he was trying to do there. I think it was a little dab that he was trying to look for his teammate. Didn't have the effect, but it's picked up there. Lima got the handball away and goes into the hands now of Carey. Runs and kicks back to probably not the right side of the ground to attack from, and picked up there, and the mark has been taken there by Muir. So Muir has got options inside. Young's calling for the ball. I don't even think he's looked at him at this stage. He decides to go short. That's a dangerous looking kick. And Mark is going to be taken out there by Hahn. Not the tallest bloke. He now delivers short and low. Kick was okay. Mark is taken. And again, they look to bring the ball back into their forward line. Gans it is. Goes towards the pocket, but out there, Mark is going to be taken by Al. And he is cleaning up for Inverleigh across the back line. So Boyle now goes short. This time has Young. He's got Condi inside if he wants to go to him. Can see him now and goes in that direction. Oh, but taking the advantage there was Hutchison, slipped in, then delivers the ball back towards the pocket. Did nicely. Kick wasn't well that good, but it's picked up there. Podner Carroll, he tackles the Inverleigh opponent, and it's been held up. Umpires coming in, and it's going to be a ball-up decision.
I think you're getting him mixed up with Podner from North Geelong.
Podner Carroll.
Podger.
Podger. Yep. Ball picked up there. Grozanowski goes by hands, or he's put his teammate under pressure once again, but it's worked nicely there because Ward gets the ball back, goes out wide towards Burke. Ball gets out the back now, and again it's Wester the first to get on top of the ball. Picked up there, and Taylor heads back towards goal. That's a good kick. Bruce coming back, but it's going to go straight into the hands of the Inverleigh defence, and once again they're going to hold things up.
Without any wind, that lands on the chest of Blake Dyer.
Probably. Ball short to the back pocket. Gerard now has it, and he runs and carries, delivers the ball out long, goes towards Finn O'Keefe. That's a great kick and hit him straight in the chest. He takes off now and goes long into their forward line, going towards Grundle. Good spoil from behind, or in front there was Iannelli. Made some good ground up, and he sees the ball. Actually, it was Lima that sees the ball over the boundary line.
I know we said the wind's going across the ground.
Yep.
But I think the scoring end's going to be to your right. So let's not just write the
Giants off
just yet.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the ball thrown back in over the top. Ball gets front of the contest, West, and they clear the ball away there through Dwyer. I think it actually might have been could have been Dwyer. Ball's going to come back just as quick. Goes into the forward line. Grundle, a diving attempt, kept the ball alive, tapped it away. With him as Lima. He lies over the top of the ball now, and umpire says it's going to come back to him. So the ball now thrown back to the umpire. Forward pocket area. Ball is thrown up. McEwen Walsh does the work. Goes to Hahn. He's tackled. And umpire says the tackle is okay. Free kick's going to go to Burke. He's worked pretty hard actually, Burke, today.
He has.
Done some nice work.
He's a little bit stiff. He's a tiny bit slow. He was right on the cusp of Pryor. It's a good decision, but he was right on the cusp. He just fumbled a little bit, I think. Couldn't get away from the bloke running behind him, young Hahn.
So Paddy Burke now from the pocket, kicking back into the breeze, and this would need to be a good kick. He loads up, he goes low, but that is nowhere near the target, and it is come up a fair way short, out of bounds on the full. Free kick's going to go to Hutchison in the back pocket. No one standing the marks. He's got an opportunity here to carry the ball and run now, which he does so now. He's going to deliver the ball pretty much straight down the middle of the ground, although it's drifting across the far side of the ground. Again, numbers out there, in with Inverleigh. Handball comes back inside. They missed the target. And again, West will be able to put the ball back towards centre wing. Dies there. Good ball from Filet. Ball comes to the front of the contest. Picked up there. Brown did nicely. Kicks the ball on his left foot. Goes back into the half-forward line. Mark is going to be taken out there by Ianelli. So Ianelli... defensive side of centre wing, just looking at his options. Umpire now calls him to play on. A little chip over the bound, a little short chip towards centre wing, and Crawley says he's interfered with the player in front. Free kick is going to go to Geelong West out there on the far side. I think that might be Brown that's taken a little short kick, and again, little short passes. They get towards centre wing with Ianelli taking possession of the ball. So he's looking at options maybe across the ground, and that's where he comes. A short kick has in the hands of Wallace. I think the umpire said that didn't travel the required distance. Asked him to play on, got the handball away. Hahn's in there, working hard over the top of the ball. And the umpires let things go. Ball still not out of the contest fully. Hahn's using a fair bit of his bulk in there. Now he's got to take the possession in the centre wing. A ball up will take place. We're 26 minutes in. And Inverleigh are 6 goals won. Ball from that contest goes towards Ianelli. Got out of the contest, got the handball away, put his teammate in Burke under a little bit of pressure, but the ball runs back over the boundary line, and we're going to have a throw in on the far side. So it's thrown back in now. Gin doing the ruck work. Out the back, went towards Love. Came through, laid a pretty good tackle. Umpire again stands back and watches. Ball's not coming out of the contest once again. Another ball up to take place.
Billy!
This time Wilson taps the ball down, went to Love, picked up there. The ball comes out the back into the hands of Young. He looks across the ground. Kick will need to be good. It's missed there because it's coming through the other way. Was Taylor? Well, actually it was Carey. Sorry, he couldn't take clean possession now with the umpire decision. It was good work. He persisted, and he's going to win a free kick. So it's going to be. Justin Carey that's got the ball. He delivers the ball back into the half-forward line. They need to pick the ball up and be clean with it. Taylor couldn't do so. Put Burke under a little bit of pressure, and that's going to be dropping the ball. He had plenty of opportunity there. And again, it's Paddy Burke again that's laid that tackle. He goes wide, and ball stays just inside the field of play. And it's going to be a throw-in to take place in between centre wing and half-forward.
I was going to say, they've got to find a way to get it to this side, and they've done that. So let's see if they can score from here. Because you've got to come from this side.
So ball thrown back in. Gin got to the front of the contest, did that nicely. The player was taken out of the contest there without the ball, and it's going to be a free kick. And it will go to Hall of Geelong West Giants. He goes quickly, goes looking for Blake Dye. Ball actually went probably straight across the ground. Dye's there. Filet in close chase there, but Dye's done nicely. Picked the ball up, tried to take a bounce. It didn't come back to him. Kicks into the forward line, and the mark has been taken out there by Mitchell. So Mitchell in the pocket. Again, from this and where we are today and the wind where it's blowing, it's going to be a difficult kick. Probably going to have to go to somewhere about the middle of the goal square, top of the goal square, I reckon, Grub.
Yeah, even to the left a little bit. Because what I saw in the second was blowing pretty hard.
So Mitchell from the pocket steps in, kicks that goal. Actually, I don't even think that's even deviated one little bit. Ball gets out the back, picked up there, kicked back to a dangerous position. Muir's there, couldn't take the possession of the ball. Dye was there, and umpire says there's a free kick, and it's going to go to Blake Dye. He's going to be the recipient of a free kick, pushing it back. I think the umpire indicated. And from the top of the goal square, this should be Geelong West Giants' first goal of the afternoon.
He'll kick this boy, don't worry about that.
We've got sun and we've got showers now, Grub.
Sun, showers, wind. And a crook throat.
So as the siren sounds, Blake Dye will come in and kick at goal.
Has to kick this. Has to.
Top of the square, umpire does not move, he gets his first, and they are pretty happy he's done so, because puts Geelong West on 1-3. They trail Inverleigh at 6 goals, 1 in the quarter time, a good margin held by the home side. We're going to take a short break. Actually, we'll give some goal kickers for the first quarter. Matty Tyson has 2 for Inverleigh, and each individual for the rest of the goal kickers is Muir, Burke, O'Keefe and Grundle. And as we said, Geelong West Giants, their solitary goal kicker is Blake Dye, kicked at the 30-minute mark of the final quarter. Take a short break, come back with second quarter action here from Moreton Power Oval. You're listening to 94.7 The Pulse, your home of local football.
agree. Tyquin, I thought Bile was good. Paddy Burke was terrific. Jared Young was good all quarter. Luke Wilson dominated the ruck. Jared Love was good. Dalton Grundle was good. They've got to find a way to run the ball, West. Because what they've got to do is put it out in front of Blake Dye. Because if they put it in the air, Jack Filet is at his best, and he's one of the best defenders in the comp. But this bloke's got Jack Filet beaten for pace. He got beaten. He's just going to leave him behind. So if he gets to run and turn, he might cause Jack some trouble.
Yes, and as we said, players now moving towards their positions in the second quarter. Ruckwork, Reece Ginn has got a little bit of height, but unfortunately the backup ruckman in Cam Brown is not any size at all, and he's just going to be in there and compete like the Belpost Hill boys have been doing over recent weeks, so it's going to be a big task from this afternoon. And Luke Wilson, as I said, he gets a bit of an armchair right out here this afternoon if things go his way. Inverleigh should have first use of the ball from the middle of the ground. Umpire puts his hand in the air to start the second quarter. As he said, Buckley's Entertainment Centre second quarter is ready to start. Ball is thrown in the air and he's short. Ginn gets the tap away this time, only as far as Finn O'Keefe. He tries to dive on top of the ball. Ball comes out. He's done nicely there. Ginn went back after his own ball, got the ball out again. The rest, they're working a little bit harder already in this contest, and the umpire will come in and take possession. The ball didn't come out of the contest. Handing the ball back there is Thomas Burke. So a throw up once again. This time Wilson at the contest. Ball's tapped down, picked up by Tyquin. He looks up, it goes into the forward line towards Grundle. Out in front, good strong hands, takes a strong mark. Steadies himself. Looks to go back towards the goals. Target out there is Muir. Used his body pretty nicely. Got the ball. Was over the top of the ball. Umpire now sits over the top and says he had an opportunity to get it out, but he dragged it back in. And free kick will go to Geelong West. And it's going to be Hutchison that's going to win the possession. So Hutchison now with the ball. Deep in defence for Geelong West. We'll try and get some scores through to you. We're not really... adapt with the app, grabbing myself, so we're hoping people around the countryside dialing in and telling us what the score is. Wilson gets the ball and goes back in quickly, and he will find Cations. So Cations now has the ball at the true centre half forward possession, looks to deliver the ball low and flat, good kick coming up, and Grundle takes the mark. So Grundle now will go back and try and kick his second goal of the afternoon, and distance shouldn't be a problem here. Let's hope he doesn't look to short pass it off.
No, he's got to go left as well, though. That wind's still going to drag it across.
So Grundle steps in now, keeps it low. Hasn't got the carry, hasn't got the distance. Ball steps in the goal square. Picked up there now and ball out. A great kick outside and ends up in the hands of Inverleigh, who takes the mark. So Inverleigh now has the ball on the half-back line for the Geelong West side. We can tell you that East Geelong are 31 and Anarchy are 10. Inverleigh we know. Werribee Central's 32, North Geelong 13. Belpost Hill, we haven't got it in there. Thompson 28, 14 to Corio. And Bannockburn have started very nicely, 47 to 8. Thank you, mate. We appreciate that. At least we've got some scores there.
Belpost Hill 3-1-19, Winch 8-3-51.
Ooh, that's a bit of a turn up, especially up at the Myers Reserve. But it's here, back at the game. The ball is now taken from the half-back line. They run the ball towards the half-back line. Donahue leads in the race for the ball. Got support out the back. Handball comes out. The hand goes to Gerard. Gerard got the handball away to Tyquin off a step. He goes back into the forward line. Long mark not taken out there. Grundle picked up there by Hahn. He goes after it. The handball comes out. Goes to Hutchison. Again stopped and propped and went back on his right foot. Delivers the ball back towards centre wing, but Tyquin drifts across and again takes the mark. He's got players across the ground. He wants to use him. He goes straight back towards the centre half forward position. Muir comes up and takes the mark. So again, outside range. Next kick will be important. Goes looking towards McEwen Walsh. Mark is not taken out there. Picked up Burke. Had his head over the contest. Got out of the contest. Went back by hand. Back into the hands of Brown. He goes quickly into the forward line. Donahue comes up. Gets the ball. Picked up there. Finn O'Keefe. His kick was smothered. Good strong work there from Geelong West defence. They're working pretty hard. They need to get the ball out. The umpire said there's a high tackle. And it's going to be a free kick out there. And the mark or free kick will be given to Geelong West. Now they get the ball to the half-back line. I think this may be Inverleigh out there on the far side. Yep. He brings the ball back inside to Hutchison. So Hutchison now, he's still pretty deep in defence. Looks to play on now and deliver the ball towards their centre wing. Ball gets out the back. It's knocked forward, picked up there. They run the ball with hands. That was nicely done. Tackle there from Love, and the umpire said that was incorrect disposal, and he will win possession of the ball. So Love now. I still think they're going to need to attack and bring the ball through this side of the ground, but he's not looking in that direction. He goes straight down the ground, and again the mark will be taken out there, and West will be able to turn things around once again. Campbell goes off, and it's Hutchison again who gets the ball. He goes long back in towards their half forward line, going back. Mark is not taken out there by Al. He gets the handball away, actually went after it himself, has support, got the handball back inside. Crowley, he's hands and knees. He needs to have support. He hasn't got anything at the moment, and umpire is sitting outside the contest. Says it's going to come back, and I will ball it up.
They missed a trick there, Inverleigh, when they had the ball in the centre. Dan Gros led out the right side of the ground, and no one on him, and they didn't go to him.
So again, the ball was thrown up pretty quickly. Handball nicely over the top. Kicked again back towards centre wing. Ball gets out the back. The umpire said there's a free kick with it.
Down the ground. Tycoon was bowled over after he kicked it.
So Dalton Rundle with the ball, and the contest he plays on quickly. A little short kick goes towards Donahue. Got the handball away, had a bit too much on it. Brown backing up from defence, comes up, gets the ball, looks to get the handball away, picked up there by Donahue, goes back in towards the half forward line. Grundle comes up and meets the ball, takes it again, got the handball away, went back to Love. Love on the left boot, goes quickly into the forward line. Burke coming out, and he's going to take the mark.
On the ground anyway.
So what would happen then?
Umpire did after the tackle, I think.
So Burke played on quickly, but didn't have the desired effect, and the mark has been taken out there, and it's going to be kicked back towards centre wing. It's balls on the ground. I think that was Wilson on hands and knees out there. He's still on hands and knees, tries to get the ball out once again.
And he did.
Did so, in the hands, and goes over the top towards Gerard, but Hahn coming the other way, picks up, fended off his own teammate there, picked up by Cations, quick hands, goes towards Love, comes into the half-forward line, picked up by Grundle, back on the right boot, went out wide, went looking for his teammate, again, a bit of pressure there from the outside, and his kick is going to be touched, and will be pushed over the boundary line. We're going to have a throw-in to take place on that far side.
The young Hahn, he's going all right, but that fend was his own player, but that slows him down, and he's slow enough as it is, and he got the ball taken on him. When he gets it at this stage, he's got to kick it straight away.
So the ball thrown back in, 20 metres round from behind post. Kevin Welsh, he goes up, ball comes out the back, goes to Burke. Burke gets the handball away to go. Keefe was taken high.
Twice.
I was going to say, it had to be a free kick. Umpire said no, he had plenty of time. It's going to be a free kick.
Terrible decision.
I thought so too. I thought the first tackle.
Head twice.
And that was, is it Ian Nelly again with the ball? I think it is. So he plays on now, and again, as his long kick goes back towards centre wing. Mark, strong out there, and that is by Wallace. Wallace turns around and goes quickly into the forward line to Mitchell. Mitchell continues to run, goes back to the pocket, Dye, comes up, tries to meet the ball, does so, sits underneath him. Now he's in trouble, and the ball actually got the ball out there, did that nicely into the hands of Mitchell, went back towards Dye, tries to feed it underneath the legs. Again, they work it pretty well to Mitchell once again, kicks back towards goal, and it runs across the face and only just and through for a minor score. So the first score of the second quarter is to the Giants. It's a behind, and they now move to 1-4 Inverleigh 6-1, with the ball being brought back in very quickly, but again didn't have the distance on it, and the mark has been taken out there on the far side of the ground, and that player, as I said, I'm not too sure it is, runs the ball back in quickly, and Dye's taken the mark, and it's just inside the field of play, is it? So he's going to go back and kick. Very cute angle here. We're just right on the boundary line or beyond it. So as they do these days, the old banana around the corner.
Well, I don't normally like him from out there, but he's got to do it from here.
So he runs around, kicks back towards goal, and he says that is okay. So Blake Dye has his second of the afternoon, and Geelong West Giants, they have their second. And they now move to 2-4. They trail Inverleigh on 6-1. And I need that team sheet for Geelong West. I've got them 31 there, but I haven't got a 31 on my list.
31
for West.
For West would be not there.
Not there.
This is Mushy's one.
Yeah, well, I don't think the other one had 31 on either.
Okay, we'll have to find out who that is, but he's a bit of a live wire, this guy. He's a pretty good kid.
So we're back in the middle of the ground, and we've got Wilson doing the ruck work up against Gin. Wilson up over the top. Ball at ground level. Love tried to fend it a little bit further along. Picked up there. Tyke went over the top of it. Now he needs to get the ball out. Umpire says there's no opportunity there for him to get the ball out. And umpire will come in quickly and take possession of it. Wilson probably needs to knock the ball a little bit further out of the contest, I would think. The handball goes, or that work goes towards Love. He plays on now, goes long in towards the goal square. Grundle works his way to the front, comes out strong hands and takes the mark and can go back and kick towards goal. Has one for the afternoon. This can be second.
Well,
from the top of the goal square. Everyone kick like his old man.
Yeah, just kick the hell out of it. Don't stab at it. Doesn't matter where you are on the ground. Kick through the ball.
So Grundle goes at goal. And he's got his second goal of the afternoon. And the seventh now for Inverleigh. 7-1 Inverleigh, 2-4 Geelong West. And we have gone almost 10 minutes. Buckley's Entertainment Centre, second quarter scoreboard.
Well, I said, I didn't think he played that well early in the year. They had him run across half back line. I think he's a forward. And a dangerous forward at that.
Good thing is he's spending time on the ground grub.
Yeah. Where's his old man out cutting wood?
No, he'll be over there. He'll be over there. So we're back with the umpire in the middle of the ground. And we said Gin doing the ruck work, and he's up against Wilson. Wilson over the top again. Tyke, quick hands towards Muir, out towards Wilson, picks the ball up, kicks the ball back into their forward line, going across. Good hands in there. I'm not too sure. Put his hands on the contest. Picked up there, Grundle. He's right around the contest once again. Tries to work himself out of it. Does so. Needs to get the handball away. Had plenty of time. Umpire let him go. Goes back towards the middle of the ground into the hands of Muir. Muir chips the ball up. McEwen Walsh goes back. Spoil just in time. McEwen Walsh went back and connected, hit towards goal and brought it back a bit too far, through for a minor score. So now 7-2 to the Inverleigh side, 2-4 Giants, and some good quick work there into their forward line once again, so they're proving they can get the ball forward. So just waiting for the ball to come back in now. Justin Kelly will be doing the kicking and duties. So Gin comes off, and ball now, as we said, is going to be brought back in. They decide to come club them side, which is a rare thing at the ground here. The ball's going to come through the contest and run over the boundary line, so maybe a little bit lucky there. So they've got an opportunity now in Inverleigh to set themselves up behind the ball.
Bannockburn 49, Belmont 8.
So ball is thrown back in again. Wilson taking front position. Ball gets out the back into the hands there of Young. He goes quickly back into their forward line. Love comes out. He couldn't take the mark. So Geelong West through their player and Turner. Deliver the ball back towards the half back line. Comes up. Ball goes towards Muir. And he is pushed over the boundary line. And it's going to be a throw in to take place.
Is that a Falcon? Falcon?
Yep. The boys here thought it was. So. So it's thrown back in again, this time Wilson from behind. Put his hands in the shoulder there. He was probably a little bit lucky there. Again, Turner had the ball, lost it. There's a free kick being given. Will they be paid the advantage? No, they're going to take it and go back. So it's going to be Turner. Gets the handball out wide, and again from the half-back line. Hutchison delivers the ball back towards centre wing. Crawley, he tried to take the mark, or get the smother away. Goes back inside. Again, the unknown player, number 31. I'm not too sure who he is. He's running everywhere. Got the handball away, and from the half-back line, the ball is now pushed from Slater. Went over the top. Going back towards the forward pocket, picked up there. Dye was taken high, and as he went down to pick the ball up, and he's going to win the free kick.
He's lucky to not get reported.
Yeah, Blake Dye now has an opportunity to kick his third. Let's hope he uses the drop punt from their grub, or we go round the body.
Well, out there I'd use a drop punt, but gee, lucky he got up. That was a bit like young Hendo last year. He was over the ball and got it right in the head. That'll be looked at, I think.
Well, been North Geelong up close to grub, 38-22 now out there, so it's a good game of footy. And we said Dye has their only two. Can he be a 3 of the three.
You bet he can.
You bet he can. The umpire did not even move then, so he has his third goal. And they are now 3 goals for Geelong West Giants. They trail Inverleigh on 7 goals 2, and we have gone almost 14 minutes. Buckley's Entertainment Centre second quarter scoreboard.
Who did that? Who gave that free kick away?
Bio, I think it was.
Yeah, well, he's been playing pretty well, that kid. Good on him, but that was ridiculous. You just can't do that in today's football.
He might be at half time as well.
You can't do that in today's football.
So now just waiting for the ball to come back. In the game, we've had the rain, we've had the sun, we've had the shower, we had both, and now we're back to sunshine again. Grub, so
Yeah.
just got to lose the wind and we'd have a good day for football. The ball back with the umpire, and again Wilson's still doing the ruck work, being unchanged in there. Now there's a free kick, I heard the whistle blow, there's a hold. It's going to go to Ianelli by the looks of it. So Ianelli now from the middle of the ground. Decides to go now and plays on, kicks the ball low and flat into their forward line. Coming up, the mark has been taken by Crawley. So Crawley now has some options wide. He's going to come across the ground. Filer's made position there. He's got some options again. So Filer now comes around the boundary line.
Kick it straight out in the
Pretty dangerous there to go there, but a little bit wide and the ball goes over the boundary line. Free kick's going to go to Ianelli. So Ianelli. So Ianelli now kicks along the boundary line, goes towards Dye, ball gets over the back again, ball picked up there, Timberland, he's got the handball away, picked up there, Filer got the handball to O'Keefe, O'Keefe went wider, and again a little bit of fumbling, coming to the Inverleigh game now, ball runs over the boundary line, and we're going to have another throw-in to take place. So still inside, or just on their forward 50 now for Geelong West, with an opportunity now to get the ball deep into their attack. Haven't seen Weemer for much, Grub. Is he still on the ground, or has he disappeared? The ball picked up by Timberland, got the handball back to Young. He left it behind, picked up there by Brown, went back to Young. He went back and got it. Now he needs to get it out. Can't get rid of that. Umpire again, no prior opportunity. Good decision.
Make sure we got balance.
Oh, he was here, just out here.
Yeah.
So I thought I hadn't seen him for a while. Might have a roll with him, running with Tyke, but looks of him. Picked up there, the ball goes quickly to the back, picked up Cations, had it in his hand, couldn't get clean possession, picked up by O'Keefe, and again he delivers the ball back into the middle of the ground. Mark will be taken there, it's Tyquin, kicks and plays on, and the umpire said there's a push, so it's going to come back, and it's going to be a free kick in the middle of the ground, this time to Lima, the player we're just asking about. And I reckon that sunshine's gone again. I reckon we're going to get some rain very shortly again.
You can't pay them out of the blue like that when you haven't paid them all day. That's just a terrible.
So Lima gets the ball. The kick goes long, and that's from Carey. Goes long into the forward line. Picked the ball up there was Brown. Brown got the ball outside to Condy. Condy went wider. That's a good kick out there from Timberland, and has found Muir. Muir has the ball. Decides to go long. Numbers here are with Inverleigh. They did nicely there. Viney got the ball down. The ball was picked up there by Hutchison. He went looking for his teammate. Lima come in, got the ball away into the hands of Ianelli, and Ianelli goes quickly back towards Pod McCarroll. Ball out the back from Brown, brings it back to the front of the contest. Over the top of it, player sits, needs to get the ball out. They've kept the ball running into the hands of Condy. Now to Wilson. Wilson across the ground. Grosdanowski from the centre half back position. He plays on, goes out wide. Out there is Bowman running. Now he's got time to steady if he picks the ball up. Couldn't do so. Ball runs to the boundary line. He still's got the ball in the field of play. Now it goes over, and it's going to be a throw-in on the far side.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks you. The 31 player is Nick Burke now, so we're right there. We've got the player. Ball out the back. Wilson taps it over the top, goes towards Muir. He is tackled straight away, and again without prior opportunity, umpire comes in and takes possession of the ball. Ball is thrown up very quickly. They've done nicely out down the far side of the ground. Inverleigh win possession. They go quickly into their forward line. Mark is not taken out there, and Hutchison got the ball to ground. Now sits over the top of it. Needs to move it on. Umpire again will come back in, and again a possession to hit the umpire at between just on the centre half forward and centre of the ground. The ball is thrown up, Wilson up over the top, goes quickly, Gans gets the handball outside, and that went away to Burke. Burke now gets the ball and it goes back towards their centre wing position, coming up, picked up there, the ball is tapped back into the hands of Crowley. Crowley gets the handball away to Templin. Templin goes out wide, he's going to get the 1-2 back again, looks back, little short kick, Crowley comes up and he takes the mark. So he's just defensive side of centre wing on the far side of the ground. He's going to go further outside, and Cations, it's Bowman out there. He takes the ball, goes back inside by hand to O'Keefe. He delivers the ball. Cameron Wells comes up, and he takes the McKeown Wells takes the mark and goes quickly. Yep, well, they've mucked it up. That's him. And the mark has been taken further afield. And I think this is Matt Ward that's taken the mark. So Matt Ward will go back and try and be another goal kicker for Inverleigh.
Hey, well, he's not shy of a tattoo.
Got a few?
The neck and everything.
So Ward now will need a kick from about 25 to 30. Kicks that goal. And it's hit the post, I think.
Yes, it has.
Yep, umpire indicates that. And through for a minor score, so Inverleigh to 7-3. Giants on 3-4. They bring the ball back in very quickly then. They've got a player short, go towards Hahn. He comes up and takes the mark. So Hahn was looking to go short again, but I don't know whether that was the option to Gans. He's put himself under a little pressure now, but it gets away. Kicks the ball back towards the centre wing and over. Marcus taking it there. Podgina Carroll goes quickly and long, and that is a good kick and to position. The mark is taken out there by Slater, moving into the forward line, so he can go back and kick their fourth.
They just got caught out of position there, the Inverleigh backs, didn't they?
They did. So Slater now, kick of about 35 to 40 metres, almost directly in front, kicks that goal. It's going to come across, and he likes it. He has his first goal of the afternoon, and that's the fourth, so that tightens things up just a little bit more. They're 4-4, Inverleigh on 7-3, and we have gone 21 minutes. Buckley's Entertainment Centre, second quarter scoreboard.
Yeah, look, I tell you what, look, the way they've been going in, Geelong West hasn't been great today, but you just see the result of when they do go in well, it gives their forwards every opportunity. He was on his own. It was a great kick by Podger Carroll. And he just hit him on the chest, and up until now, what's been going on is that they've just been banging it in there and making it too hard for their forwards. So if they're to win this game, they've got to really control the footy and take it in nicely. And I think you said 7-3, they've got 8-2 up there, but I think they've got the scoreboard's wrong, isn't it?
Oh, I've got 7-3.
Yeah, they might be changing it now, actually.
So the ball back in the middle of the ground, the umpire throws it up. Now Brown did nicely that time. Ball comes down to Hahn. Hahn kicks quickly into the forward line. It's a good spoil from behind. Ball is picked up there, kicked there by Dwyer, goes into the forward line. Donahue is back there. Gerard is also there. Got the kick away just in time. Goes back towards Wilson. Has the advantage out there. Couldn't take the mark. Picked up by Hahn. Got the handball away. Went back towards Gans. Gans kicks around towards the half forward line, but Timberland intercepts, and he goes quickly back towards centre wing. The only player out there is Luma of West, but the ball goes over the boundary line. Have a throw in, and that is on the true centre wing position, far side of the ground. So umpire now about to restart it over there. He throws it back in. Wilson is there. He taps the ball down. Picked up there, cleared away by Love on the right boot. Goes back towards centre half forward. Mark is not taken. Good contest there, Grundle. Ball comes down. Burke couldn't pick it up cleanly. Loses possession of it. Ball runs back now towards centre wing. Picked up again by Love on the right boot once again. Over the top, Lima spoils, and the ball goes over the boundary line. So we'll have a throw in on the far side of the ground. So it's thrown back in now, half forward line. Ball comes out the back. Trying to pick the ball up there, I think was Nick Burke, which was the player we didn't know earlier on. Ball still in dispute there, but it's cleaned away. We thought it was going to come out of the contest, but it's still bobbling around. Players around the contest, picked up by Brown. Good strong tackle, goes back to that player in Burke, and again he runs out of the contest, now goes on the left boot, delivers the ball out wide. I don't know how he can play it deliberate, but umpire says let's throw it back in.
No, they've stopped playing it. As I said earlier, I like that. The umpires are pretty good.
So the ball is now thrown back in. The ball goes towards the Finno Keith. He's looking for some options to go by hand. He does see to Grozdanovsky, goes back and gets it again, and got the handball 1-2. Now goes towards the centre wing position. Player in there is Burke over the top of the contest, picked up by Keith once again, tries to step out of the contest and eventually does so. Goes to the left boot, had plenty of time, puts the ball back into the forward line. Coming up, the ball wasn't collected very cleanly there, but it was by Grundle. He got the handball away, went looking for Burke. Player dives over the top of the ball. Umpire says yes, he's holding the ball, and it is going to be a free kick going to Burke once again.
Did you say Blute?
Burke.
No, Blute when you went to say boot.
Oh, Burke. To Walsh. Walsh gets the handball away, went back towards Tyquin, didn't have the carry on it, ends up in the hands of Inverleigh. He looks into the middle of the ground. Good kick. Mark not taken out there by Mitchell, picked up by Brown, goes wide, and the mark is taken out there by Tyquin. He's just inside the centre square, goes into the forward line. Only player going at the ball this time was Lima. He comes up and takes the mark. Goes across the ground, short kick, and they run the ball to Hutchison. Hutchison now looks towards centre wing, has a player out there. Ball gets over the top of Mitchell, goes towards the centre wing, and Condi is able to see the ball over the boundary line. And there's going to be a throw-in to take place on centre wing. This time, thank God, in front of us.
Solve the riddle. When a bloke like Tyquin, who can kick the ball out of sight in any conditions, kicks it up in the air and holds up like that, I'm telling you, West have got the definite advantage of the win this quarter.
So they've got another 3 or 4 minutes, I would think, to work with it. Grab another goal would be very important to them. If they can get one themselves, would be invaluable. So again, the ball on centre wing, thrown in by the umpire. Umpire says we're going to do that once again, or we'll come back.
I want to know why they're going to do it again. Have a look at this poor bugger. He's got to throw that ball 30 metres. They're too far back.
Yeah, yep.
That's not the boundary umpire's fault.
So the umpire about to restart it once again. Throws the ball back in. This time Wilson gets to the contest, front of the contest, picked up Tyquin. Didn't get beat the ball, and the umpire said there's going to be a free kick. Podger Carroll. He's gone the left boot, goes quickly into the forward line, coming up. Marcus not taken, ball gets out the back. Donahue got the handball away. Didn't have a target, so he went back and collected himself, puts boot the ball, goes back towards centre wing. Podger Carroll's got plenty of time to pick the ball up, look inside once again, little short kick, and again straight back to the opposition, this time in Young. So Jared Young now just calling to slow things down. He's called on to play on by the umpire now, goes back towards Walsh. Walsh in front, gets up and takes the mark. There's a free kick being given. There's a hold, I'm not too sure where that was. The handball comes outside, and it was a bit of a look away handball. He looked away but didn't hit the target. Josh Finey was on the run past.
When you're going to block like that, you've got to keep your eyes on the ball, mate, like you're looking at the football. And that's a fair dinkum free kick. He didn't look at the footy.
So the ball now is thrown back in once again. This time, ball comes front of the contest. Hahn bursts his way through. Was going to give it a handball. Decided to go all the way himself. Kicks the ball into their forward line. Good spoil from Condy behind. That Dwyer did nicely off the contest. But again, only as far as Crawley. Crawley picks the ball up and he comes out wide. Goes towards Tyquin. Ball gets out the back. Ianelli it is. A little bit of time and space. Kicks into the forward line. That's a nice kick. Mark is taken out there. And again, West with a bit of an opportunity here to go back and kick for goal. It's Mitchell again, isn't it? Yeah. Yes. So again, we know he can kick a goal, this bloke. Probably the right side of the ground, but again, from here, it's going to be a difficult kick. So Blake Dye offers a lead, but I think Mitchell will go back and shoot at goal. Kicks left or right, wherever the goals, and the umpire, I think that's a fair call, out of bounds from the full. So as we tick over 28 minutes in this second quarter, the rain is again falling.
It's a bit ironic, isn't it? Tyquin gives a free kick away for a very slight push in the centre of the ground, he got pushed it directly in the back there, and the umpires didn't pay it. And I just think the umpires aren't paying the same decisions. I think they've got to try and get in sync. They're doing a good job, but I think they're paying a little bit different decisions, and that's what frustrates the players sometimes. One umpire's playing that little push, and the other fella ain't.
So the ball is now with Donahue. So Donnie's asking players to come at him. As he said, he's not doesn't want to kick the ball too long. Tyquin's in the front. Ball gets back to the front of the contest, coming the other way. Was Boyle. He couldn't take it cleanly. Wins back and collected possession of it. Gave it to Wilson. Wilson kicks the ball into the middle of the ground. Coming up is Grundle and takes the mark. So Grundle now has a player running wide, and he goes in that direction. He's punting on Bowman to get himself back there to the contest. Leads in the race for the ball. He's put himself under a bit of pressure because he's got a 2-on-1. He's got support now because Condi has arrived. He sees the ball back towards the boundary line. Burke went back and collected it, got the handball away, and again West through Turner. Give the ball back towards centre wing, leading in the race for the ball. The mark is taken out there by Mitchell. Mitchell looking, turns and spins and goes quickly. This is probably their last chance to score in this quarter. Go towards 29. Ball gets front of the contest, picked up out there. Handball comes away, goes into the hands of Burke. He's taking the ball back, and that's Wallace. Has a teammate there, and Hutchison goes long back towards the goal square. Oh, Dwyer had one hand up. It's kicked off the ground, but it's kicked through by Donahue of Inverleigh, and it's going to be a minor for the Giants, and that puts them now to 4-5. Inverleigh on 7-3, as we said, ticking towards 30 minutes for this second quarter.
He nearly jagged that guy. Or Dwyer, or whatever you want to call him.
Yep, so the ball now is kicked out there by Donahue, goes long, outside, Wilson up in front, takes the mark, goes quickly towards Love. He's up and presents, and now they've got an opportunity themselves in the way. If they move themselves quickly, that goes towards Grundle in front, can't take the mark, picks it up though, fends off, got the handball back towards Love, wants to come back in the left boot, does so now, goes quickly into the forward line. Walsh is there, good sprawl from behind, and the ball runs over the boundary line. We're going to have a throw-in to take place in their forward 50 in the way we're talking, and they've got time, maybe a little, as it ticks towards 30 minutes of this second quarter. Sees Inverleigh lead 7-3, 4-5 to the Giants. Ball is taken out of the contest. Tyquin got the handball away only as far as Hutchison. He goes back towards centre wing. Ball carries nicely, gets out the back, and the siren has sounded to the second quarter here at the Moreton Power Oval. And you'll see Inverleigh going at 7-3, leading the Giants on 4-5. Goal kickers at this stage of the game, Matt Tyquin and Dalton Grundle both have 2. Dean Muir, Paddy Burke, Finn O'Keefe, and that is their 7. And for Geelong West, we have Blake Dye with 3, and Xavier Slater has their 4th. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll go through first half action here from the Moreton Power Oval. You're listening to 94.7 The Pulse, your home of local football.
I'll get that when we come back after half time, mate. We can get that. That'll be good.
Good on you, mate.
third quarter. Third quarter is as to start. The ball is run in the air, and this Wilson over the top, and it's going to be taken away, and it's going to be Thrillab who goes long, quickly into their forward line to the full forward position. In front, Grundle couldn't take the mark, goes back after it again, to the other top of the ball is Turner. Got the ball out, picked up there, Burke, round the body, and a very quick response in this, and that took less than 20 seconds. That's 18 seconds, and Burke, Paddy, has his second goal of the afternoon, and brings up Inverleigh's 8th, so they're moved to 8 goals 3, and it is 4-5 to the Giants, so some quick work from the centre of the ground, Grub.
Well, exact replica of the first quarter. Took it down and a couple of kicks, goal, bang. Look, West have got to really hang in here because they're playing good enough football to actually win the game. They got to within a couple of goals at half time. They can't let Inverleigh kick another 5 or 6 this quarter, otherwise it's just going to be too big a task to come back.
Some half-time scores. East Geelong 80 beat leading Anarchy on 11. Werribee Central's 38, North Geelong 67. Haven't got a bell post till Winchelsea score.
I have.
Thompson are 44, Corio 21, Belmont 23, Bannockburn 99. The ball in the middle of the ground, this time Tycoon taken into tackle very strongly by Alex Hahn, and the ball is going to be handed back to the umpire.
Winch 57, Balpo's Hill 40.
There we go. So they've come back there on that game there. So it's tightened things up. Handballs very quickly over there to Finn O'Keefe. He goes long, back into the forward line once again. Ball gets through the contest. Umpire said there's a holding decision. It's going to go to Grundle, and it's going to be in the goal square. So Dalton Grundle can go back and shoot at his third for the afternoon. Playing as a permanent forward today, which is good to see. And Dalton Grundle from the top of the goal square comes in, and he kicks his third. You've got a 9-3 now to Inverleigh, 4-5 to the Giants, and we have gone only 2 minutes in this third quarter to Grandy Cycling Sports third quarter action.
Well, they're just very slick. It starts in the ruck with Wilson, who's been dominant all day, and free kick, it was there. Dalton Grundle at forward again. What's he kicked through?
3. I think he got. Did he get 5 or 6 last week?
I don't know. It's just at the moment West have got to maybe even put a bloke behind the ball.
So we're back with the umpire in the middle of the ground, and the umpire is about to restart it now. Ball is thrown back in the air, and again this time Wilson over the top. Love again takes the ball out of the middle. Quick kick into the forward line. Ball is intercepted. Burke went through his hands. Young went back and collected it. He just puts boot to ball, goes quickly into the forward line. Walsh is there, didn't take the mark, kicked off the ground by Luma. Ball runs back towards the goal square. Oh, they left it behind. 3 of them left it behind. And the trailer, which was, I think, Brown, he has come in and he has kicked the goal. So that's 3 goals in 3 minutes, and Alex Brown's got his first of the game. 10-3 now in the lead, 4-5 to the Geelong West Giants. Grub.
Yeah, look, you actually... McEwen, well, he called him Cadman Welsh.
Cad Welsh.
He was actually just slightly interfered with the umpire. Put the whistle, thought, no, not quite. But I tell you, the defence there panicked. They panicked, they ran over the ball. They all wanted it, but they just didn't go about it the right way. And the bloke sitting in behind said, thank you very much. And 3 in a couple of minutes. They don't want to get them too far in front. We've got the wind in the way home.
So we're back in the middle once again, and again the Brockman go at it. This time the ball comes to Tycoon. Tycoon goes out to Grozdanowski, tried to tap it in nicely to his teammate. Didn't work, but went back and got it once again. Came through the contest, was tackled. Ball comes out the other side. That was Hall. He was picked up. Ball comes to ground once again, picked up. O'Keefe got in and out of trouble. Now he might be in trouble because he dropped the ball, and the free kick's going to go to the Geelong West Giants, and Edwards it is. So Edwards now plays on, kicks long into the forward line. Crowley going back, got fist to ball into the hands of Wilson. Ball was taken from his hands. He runs back towards the boundary line, Wilson that is, with the ball, and it is now put over, and there's going to be a throw-in to take place. So he's going to be 10 metres around from the Geelong West goal. Wilson doing the ruck work.
Did you get a Thompson score?
Thompson, yeah, they're only about 20 points up, I think. On
42-22.
Yep, so the ball now front of the contest. Love comes through, can't take it cleanly, picked up fire, got the handball out quickly. He puts himself back over the top of the ball. Umpire circles, but he says there's no free kick to be given there, and it's going to be a ball up to take place in that forward pocket far side of the ground. Down the netball end. Ball is thrown up, and again, without too far away to see what's actually going on up there, but it's picked up there by Gerard, who gets the left boot round towards the half-back line again. Numbers this time with the Geelong West side. They bring the ball back in towards their goal square. Now, that should have been a free kick also. No, mark has been taken. And it's going to be played to Crawley, I think it is.
That's that push I've been talking about. One of them's playing it and the other two aren't.
So Crawley now decides to come clubroom side. That kick will be okay because Cations is in space by himself and has the ball on the half-back line.
He filled out a bit, Billy.
Yeah, got the ball and he delivers the ball towards Donahue. Ball gets out the back of the contest over the boundary line as Edwards was the interferer or the interceptor, trying to be the interceptor. Couldn't take the mark.
Might have nearly got a free kick, too. I think Donahue realised he couldn't get to the ball, so he went to the man.
So ball is thrown back in once again. This time Wilson, ball comes down, goes towards Hahn, picked up there by Gans. He was taken high, and the umpire says that was the way he saw it as well.
No, I didn't think he was, you know.
Just a little bit, I reckon, grabbed just over the top, the first part of it. So Ryan Gans now is looking back inside. He's not too sure where he wants to go to with this kick.
You've got a call,
so he decides to go long. Inverleigh with the numbers there, and Grozdanovsky there by himself and takes a mark. Could have been him, could have been Boyle, but Dan Groz now with the ball. Jared Love in the middle of the ground. That's the direction he goes in. Comes up, attacks the ball, meets it, and kicks the ball back towards the half-forward line. Coming up, Lima. Again, he didn't take the mark. Gave it to Hahn. Put his teammate under a bit of pressure there. That was Edwards, and he went back and collected it. Hahn. Hahn goes over the top. Back to Gans once again. Kicks the ball forward, and it's going to be over the boundary line as Bowman will see it go over the boundary line, and we're going to have a throw-in to take place once again. It's considerably colder here, Grub, but I don't know you, but it is.
Yeah, it is.
You do feel it.
It is.
Goes out the back, Brown, goes to Hahn, taps along the ground. He now kicks into the forward line. Ianelli comes up when it's tried to meet the ball. It goes back through the hands of Condi. Condi is tackled. Brown is tackled, and it's going to be still running around the half-forward line. Umpire is going to let things go for a little bit, but now he comes in and takes possession. So this time Wilson, little side tap, done that to Love a number of times today, into the hands of Ianelli. Podger, he goes back into the forward line. It's a nice little kick, spoiled through the back of the contest and runs over through for a minor score. So Geelong West 4-6 now. They've been able to slow but can't score themselves. Jack Fire, it looks like he's going to do the kicking in duties from that full-back position. He's indicating he's going to go straight down the middle of the ground. That's the direction he goes in. Wilson's there. Ball gets out the back, and that's going to be an uncontested mark to Turner. Turner goes out wide. Kick has to be good, and was. Into the hands of Hutchison. Hutchison goes on his right boot. Little short chip, and that's a good lead-up. And mark taken there by Dye. So Dye now again, he wants to move the ball on quickly. Goes to the pocket. And again, the mark is taken out the entire Mitchell. He's had one opportunity from here, and didn't have any luck with it. He can have another kick from that same pocket. Just a little bit of work to be done. So Braden Mitchell now from the forward pocket. Steps in, kicks it goal. It's a good effort, but Jack Filet will see the ball through for another rush behind. So now Geelong West to 4-7. Inverleigh on 10-3. They've been able to kick straight, and they run the ball in very quickly. Mark is taken out there on the far side of the ground. That's Burke from the kick in. He's going to go straight down the line today now. He decides to go over the top with the hands to Gerard, who comes up from behind the contest. Goes in looking for Grundle. Ball gets out the back. Player leading the race for the ball out there. I think that was Viney. Tried to pick the ball up. The ball runs over the boundary line. Umpire says it was taken without the ball. Wins a free kick. So they now have a chance to come back the other way. Good kick into the middle of the ground. Mark is taken out there. That's Slater. He's up to his feet and moves the ball very quickly. Danger kick inside to Ianelli because Grozdanovsky comes up from behind the contest and takes the mark.
Gave him no chance.
No, absolutely. Ball favoured Grozdanovsky. He decides to go quickly into the forward line once again. Again, ball out the back. Walsh is there. Donahue's there. Just needs to pick the ball up. Does so. And on the left boot, he goes through and kicks his first goal of the afternoon and the 11th now for Inverleigh. They're 11-3. And the movement there, very good. 4-6 to the Giants. And we have crossed over 10 minutes in this third quarter.
Well, it's funny because I just reckon Inverleigh forwards outnumbered them. I think some of the West blokes came up the ground and they just didn't get back. the West defender almost had it in the air. He had to make sure that it didn't go behind him, and it did go behind him, and Cadman Walsh just nice little push out to Donahue, and he's always going to kick them.
Seems to be when the ball goes in quickly, they've got those runners, doesn't it?
Yeah, they've got the runners, and then West can't keep up with them.
Yeah.
The problem is now, you can't just wait till the end of this quarter. They're going to have to score against to win this quarter, West.
Yep, so the ball with Tyquin. Tyquin got the ball into the hands of Love, and again he goes quickly into their forward line. Coming up, Grundle, good hands out in front, and there's not too many blokes who can keep up with this bloke where he's going.
No.
Good pace, good hands. Let's hope he goes back and kicks goal number 4 for the afternoon.
Well, at the start of the year, they were using Donahue as their full forward.
Yep.
Well, he's a small man, so he's a small forward, and I think he'd complement this big fella Grundle up there. He's got to stay up there, I reckon.
So comes in now, kicks that goal, and he's got his 4th. 4 to Grundle, 12 to Inverleigh. They are now 12-3. They lead the Giants on 4-7. 11 minutes gone. The Greenway Cycling Sports third quarter scoreboard.
I think the big danger for other clubs is too, if you can leave Donahue down as a small forward and Dalton Grundle deep, Casey, you get a fit and fine Casey Moon back at centre half forward. That's going to be some trouble, especially on a big ground at St Albans.
Yeah,
because a full forward at St Albans is no good if you can't get it to him. But
no, that's what I said. That's where probably even at that stage he'll play at centre half forward, where he's quick and he can move up the ground and get back. So ball now thrown back in again. Wilson this time it was nicely done there from Jim. Got over the top of him, so they need to win the possession out of the middle. That's what they've been able to do. Goes into the hands there of Burke, and he goes back towards the half forward line. Condi read that nicely, went back and collected. It comes back on his right boot, has options through the middle of the ground, decides to go longer up the ground towards Love, comes up and meets the ball, picks it up nicely, gets in and out of trouble, goes to Burke. Burke looks across the ground and goes to Tyquin. They're winning plenty of ball through this area of the ground. Now he decides to come across the ground into the hands of Bowman. Options inside to Wilson, but he decides he wants to go a little bit longer. Walsh is going to be the target. Viney gets over the top of him. Ball runs back towards the boundary line. Viney picks the ball up, gets away from Walsh, but although Walsh did very nicely, traps him inside. Handball goes back inside. Brown quickly onto the boot. Ball gets through the half forward line, and it was I think bloke in the name of Ward that was trying to take the mark, and the ball went back over the boundary line, and we're going to have a throwing to take place in between the half forward and forward pocket. Again, Cad Walsh is going to do the ruck work in that forward area. Taps the ball down the front of the contest. Read nicely out of the contest there by Burke of Geelong West. Ball comes back into the hands of Bowman. Bowman look now on the left boot. Here's a little chip into the forward line. Lima comes up, presents, takes the ball. Couldn't take it cleanly. Glove kicks the ball off the ground, runs back towards the goal square, and it's Viney who transfers play. Kick has to be good, and Ianelli comes up. Oh, he had plenty of it. And
I'll play that.
Had a fair bit of control in the air.
Yeah, I'll
might have done the ankle as he's come down, or the knee he's holding a little bit. So now Ianelli looks back into the middle of the ground. Nice looking kick inside to Wallace, gets over the top of that player, coming across. Gerard did that nicely. Now picks the ball up, looks and goes back towards centre wing. Miller's there, handballs inside. Bowman can go over the top to Burke, decides to go longer, and it's out there, and the mark will be taken out there by Ward. So Ward's deep in the pocket. Grundle's asking for the ball to be kicked in quickly, but he's going to take his time and go back. Players pushed down now into the space, so that's probably his best option now.
I think it always was, really.
Hard to kick one from there, Grubb. Now I said that, he'd probably go back and slot it straight through the middle. Kicks to the goal square. It is going to be pushed through for a minor score. And that will move Inverleigh now to 12-4. 4-7 to the Geelong West side. The ball's brought back in very quickly, and it's in the hands now of Hutchison. He wants to bring the ball towards centre wing. Oh, that was an infringement there, I would have thought, the first one. Yeah, it had to be. It's going to go to Condi. So Condi is going to be rewarded the free kick. So Condi now with the ball. Decides he's going to go long into the forward line. Ball gets out the back. Turner did the right thing, spoil the ball into the hands of Viney. His kick going forward. Podger Carroll gets the handball over the top into the hands of Wallace. He is tackled. Ball was taken out of the hands by Bowman. Bowman did that nicely. Goes back to Tyquin. Tyquin went back to Young. Tries to get through Podger Carroll's tackle. He's not going to let go. Umpire said that is incorrect disposal. Free kick goes to Geelong West and Podger Carroll. And he's going to take the possession of the ball.
Well, I don't think it was incorrect disposal because
he didn't get rid of it. Yeah. So the real short chip, again dangerous, and it's going to go straight into the hands of Muir. Running players, Finn O'Keefe. He ignores him now. Gerard across the ground. He hasn't even looked there yet. Just looking at his options. Goes long now. Options out the back. Lima from behind. Ball comes back to the contest. Walsh is there. Goes to Gerard on his left foot. But a little banana. As soon as he left the boot, he put his hand in the air. So Ryan Gerard now joins in, and he has kicked another goal for Inverleigh. They move to 13-4, and they lead Geelong West Giants on 4-7. And we have gone almost 15 minutes to Grandy Cycling Sports League Quarter Scoreboard.
I thought he'd been a little bit down, Rusty, for the day, but this quarter he's really picked it up, and I think he's part of the revival. He's part of the reason they've kicked a few goals this quarter. But still, he was afforded too much time to pick it up and put it onto his boot. I don't know, the defence, they look all right sometimes, and then when the ball hits the ground, they're in trouble. In the air, they're all right, but when the ball hits the ground, the West defence is in a bit of trouble.
So back in the middle of the ground we go once again. Jim doing the ruck work again over the top. Ball comes out to Muir. Muir gives the handball away to go Keefe. He goes long back in towards the forward position. Grundle comes out. Spur from behind there was made by Carey. Picked up there. Tyken gets the handball out. Goes into the hands of Ward now. Looks to get the ball away. Miscations with the handball. Ball is picked up, and again West of Ward. Good strong tackle there from Ward. The umpire says he got the handball away. Goes back towards Tyquin. Goes through the contest. Back towards Ward. He needs to get rid of it. Does so. Goes towards Burke. Burke kicks the ball. Oh, I thought that might have been no bands to the full then. Tapped his toe, but must have drilled along the ground. So there's going to be a throw in to take place forward line. Cad McEwen Walsh doing the ruck work. He's got the luxury of being letting Wilson do most of it for the day. He tips the ball out the back, goes towards Young on the left boot. Kicks long, wide, and out of bounds on the full. So free kick will go to the Geelong West side. And it's going to be Lima from that position will take possession of the ball. He decides to go long and out towards centre wing. Ball got good carry, nearly gets out the back. Marker's not taken out there by Boyle, and the ball runs over the boundary line. We'll have a throw in to take place. So Wilson doing the ruck work. Gin's also there. Number of changes being made by both sides. Ball out the back. Doesn't get right out the back. This time the ball is going to be picked up out there, and I think that was Wallace. Got the handball away. The kick goes into the forward line. Marcus taken out there, this time by Brown. So Brown not doing the ruck work at the moment, has gone forward. Kicks back towards Dye. He gets underneath the ball. Picked up there at the front of the contest. They work the ball out of that contest. The ball ends up in the hands of Wilson somehow. Goes over the top. Corey. He got the handball further afield. Kick towards centre wing. Mark is taken out there by Brown. Looks back inside, and the mark is taken by Cations. Got runners wide if he needs them. Hasn't seen Donahue just coming on the ground, but he decides to go long and flat straight up the middle of the ground. Ball gets out the back, goes towards Tyquin. He's got a teammate there in Viney. Viney's been able to run the ball towards the boundary line. Got support there in Dwyer. Dwyer goes back, gives the handball away, and again Viney goes across the ground. That's a great looking kick. Mark has been taken out there. This time Taylor. He runs off now and goes towards centre wing. Marcus is not taken out there. Now there's a chop of the arm, says the umpire, and it's going to go Geelong West way, and it's going to be Wallace once again. So Wallace now chips the ball back inside. Teammate taken there is Burke. Burke comes back inside. Dwyer. So now they've moved the ball back to the centre corridor, a little chip further afield, only required distance into the hands there of Hutchison. He comes out wide, back towards Viney. Viney come up from behind the contest. Good tackle there. He has brought it to ground. Umpire says it's incorrect disposal. Handball goes over the top into Walsh. Walsh now decides to go long in towards the forward line. Ball gets out the back, and the mark is taken out there and by Carey. So he plays on very quickly, goes further afield into the hands of Taylor. Taylor from the half back line goes towards centre wing, player out there by himself, and the mark will be taken out there again. I think it's Brown. So Brown now has a chance to steady things down, and that's what he does. Goes to the half forward line, ball sat up in the air too long. Grozdanowski comes over the top, and the ball must have gone over the boundary line. Umpire says he wants it back. It's going to be a throw in front of the scoreboard here at Inverleigh. So Wilson's still doing the ruck work. And Reece Gin is in that contest as well. Ball thrown back in, goes back towards the boundary line, so we're going to have a repeat of that last effort. And it will be thrown back in pretty close towards true centre wing on the far side of the ground.
Well, they should go all right now. Tycon's off the ground.
Ball is thrown back in. Wilson gets the ball down. Carroll overruns the ball. Again, it's head over the ball, picked up there, cleared away. That was Burke, got the ball out wide, and it goes further afield. That was kicked further by Wallace, goes back towards the goal square. Crowley is back there, sees the ball over the boundary line, so we're going to have a throw in to take place. Pretty much beside the behind post. And umpire moves down the ground and takes it. Wilson's worked his way down to the contest. He's going to go up against his opposition in Brown. The ball out of the contest, picked up there by Dye. He goes back towards the goal square. I think it went as high. Actually, marked his own ball. Played on and misses, unfortunately, because that would have been a good way to play.
Can you do that?
I don't know whether you get paid the same thing if you do it.
Paid the mark.
Did he?
He paid the mark.
I'm not too sure. If it goes 10 metres...
I don't think you're allowed to.
I don't see that. Doesn't happen too often, does it?
Well, it didn't go 15 metres.
No, it went 15 up.
But he still paid it.
So Filer again with the ball. He decides to go straight down the middle of the ground. Wilson was going to get interfere in the contest, but it's been marked cleanly by Dean Muir. Muir now plays on, goes low, goes quick into the forward line. Grundle just works his man off the ball, and he's taken the mark inside the forward 50 in the game. Can go back and kick for goal number 5.
I've got to Google that one on in Coots.
Yeah, I'm not
Can
sure.
you mark your own ball? If you kick it 20 metres and then run and mark it, is it paid? I always thought it wasn't, but that other goose will be listening.
So Grundle's now with the ball. As we said, he has 4 for the afternoon. Can go back and kick at number 5. Looks okay off the boot. I'll tell you what, when your confidence up, this young man, he's kicked another one. And the 14th now for Inverleigh, 14-4. And they lead Geelong West Giants on 4 goals 8. 22 minutes gone to Granny Cyclone Sports, third quarter scoreboard.
Well, they've just been too good. They've just got too far ahead where West... I don't think they're going to catch them now. They just played too good. Well, a great third quarter. And Cal Clissold, if you're listening, answer that question for me, will you? If you kick your own ball, no matter how far it goes, can you mark your own ball and be paid the mark? So, Cal, if you're listening, text us through and give us an answer. Because I've never seen that before, I don't think.
7 goals to half-time, 7 goals in this quarter. Grub, it's a big third quarter, and they've got more chance now because the ball through Love is going to go quickly back into their forward line. Walsh comes up, he takes the mark, he's going to be outside 50, probably man on the mark did go a couple of extra metres now, decides to go long and quickly into the goal square once again. Ball gets back, Lima is back to assist, and he will push the ball through for a minor score. And it's now 14 goals 5. They decide to play on quickly, come to the back pocket. Mark is taken out there. Taylor, he's looking to go back across the goals. I think that might be a dangerous move. He's not too sure where he wants to go to. Hasn't got many loose options there. Lima is one of those. Decides to play on now. Gets around his player on the mark, and that was Ward. Goes back towards centre wing. In the lead, definitely with the numbers. Boyle goes across, and he takes the mark. He's played a pretty good game again today. Goes short, and that kick wasn't too good. Ball is now back in dispute again. Gives up there by Podger Carroll. Carey gets the handball away. It ends up there in the hands, and we transferred across the ground by Fawley. Went one way, came back the next. Oh, not too sure of the kick. He's got plenty of opposition there. Ball comes to ground. Ball is picked up there, and it's done nicely through Mitchell. Mitchell gives the handball away. Goes towards Wallace. He delivers the ball towards their forward line. Dye leads in the race for the ball. Filer traps in. I'm not too sure that was correct disposal. Umpire says he's gone over the boundary line. There's going to be a throwing to take place. Forward pocket.
I'll tell you what, Dye might have Filer beaten for pace, but you can't get around him, can you? He's too good to get around.
So the umpire now restarts it and throws the ball back in. Wilson up over the top, taps the ball back towards the boundary line, picking the ball up out there as Hoare. He's got a number of people around him, but it ends up in the hands there of Inverleigh, and they kick the ball back towards centre wing. Bowman come across, and he has taken the mark. He's got a player running. Well, it wasn't a great kick, so he made Gerard stop and go back, but he does that nicely and then kicks towards centre wing Burke. They've got options right down the ground. Donahue is there by himself. He's got the ball, looks up, decides to go long to the goal square. Out the back, Grundle has got a good pair of hands. He has taken a mark and can go back and now kick goal number 6 if he is accurate. So Grundle now has 5 for the afternoon, 5 straight. Can go back and kick goal number 6.
Well, if he's kicked 5 straight, you reckon he'd kick this one, Smithy?
Steps in, kicks at it. Umpire again looks straight back over his head. Has goal number 6, and that is the 15th goal now for Inverleigh. They're 15-5. They lead the Giants on 4-8 and 25 and a half gone to Grandy Stockland Sports League Quarter Scoreboard.
Again, really an errant kick here to a 2-on-1, and once they opened them up, you just felt that as soon as Rusty got the ball from here to there, and then Donahue, you just felt there was a goal coming because they opened them right up. And then Dalton didn't let him down again. This is the best game I've seen him play.
So back with the umpire in the middle of the ground, as we said now. Ball from Wilson over the top to Finn O'Keefe, runs onto the ball, had more time than he thought, delivers the ball into their forward line. Marcus not taken. Dwyer went over the top of the contest, picked up there. Brown got boot to ball, goes back to O'Keefe, couldn't take it cleanly. Lima put his head down, was tackled high and wins a free kick, and now he's going to get 50. So Lima now cools to his feet quickly and runs. Umpires now says he can play on, runs and carries. Did that nicely, went quickly into the forward line. Unfortunately, numbers are back with Inverleigh, and Boyle's there, and he will take the mark and transfer play across the ground. Goes to Gerard. He'll look to spin and go. He's got Muir on the boundary line, just come onto the ground. Can't go there now. Walsh is going to be the option, although he went shorter. Well, Muir was up, down, couldn't take the mark. Umpire said he's paid it. Plays on now, goes short inside to Lowe. So they continue to run and move the ball pretty quickly, actually. They've moved it nicely today. Go inside. Finn O'Keefe has Gerard on the outside of him. He uses him to player now. Looks down the ground, goes towards Grundle, comes up again, couldn't take the mark. Buttle, his own teammate over there. He's got support there. He went back and got the ball, runs away from the contest, kicks the ball back towards Walsh. Walsh is there, interference in the first case, then decides to kick the ball off the ground. He missed it. Donahue picks up. He wanders in. Donahue kicks his second. So 16 goals, 5. There's a bit of comedy there. Grumbled the way that ball hit there, but twice the ball's run down there. The players have run past it, over it, and everything. So,
geez, I tell you what. First, the umpire missed a blatant free kick against
Walsh.
Yeah, McKill Walsh. It was a different free kick. But then he used his brains. Instead of kicking a goal, he just towed it to Donahue. Give it to the coach. On purpose. Well done, son. Goal.
Is that what you call it?
No, but
it was like a fresh air swipey.
Oh, no. Anyway, did it on purpose. Well
so
done.
it's 16-5 now to the local side. The ball now back in the middle of the ground. Gin had a little hand on it. Good tackle there. Muir. Ball comes down in the tackle. And again, no prior opportunity there for Wallace. Umpire will come in and take possession. So it's thrown back up once again. Ball tapped out of the centre contest. Picked up there. Again, pressure's pretty good right round the contest here. The umpire said there was no prior opportunity there for the Geelong West side to release the ball. Free kick and or throw up, and that's what's going to happen. The ball is thrown up. This time Wilson taps the ball wide out towards Gerard. Got the handball. New Love was there. Umpire said there was a sling tackle, so he's called her advantage. Ball runs into the forward pocket, going across to get the ball, and cleared away is Carey. Goes back outside 50. Love comes up from behind. Good strong spoil. Handball comes back into Burke. Burke looked to give the ball back towards his teammate. He got a little bit of a shove in the back there, and again some good strong work out there from the Geelong West side. They've been able to hold things up, and that was Tuna laying that tackle, and the umpire is going to ball it up. So it's thrown up at the outside this time. Ruckman go at it once again, taken out of the contest there by Wilson. Delivers the ball towards the forward pocket, picked up out there, and again it's ball's tapped back towards the boundary line and tapped straight over the boundary line. Umpire's there right on the scene. Oh, he's actually paid it,
yeah, I think he had to play that one. He just tapped it straight over, Smithy. I hate deliberate, but you got to play him like that, I think.
So it looks like Matty Tyquin out there. I think has been the recipient of the free kick. And from the pocket, he can go back and have a shot at his third goal. Kicks the ball towards the top of the square, gets out the back. Donahue was trying to sneak in and out of that contest, but didn't take clean possession. Ball runs over the boundary line, and we'll have another throw-in to take place as we tick towards the 30-minute mark of this third quarter. So a late opportunity for Inverleigh to kick another goal in the quarter. They have 16 to date. Ball out the back, goes towards Donahue. Dwyer was there and put a bit of pressure on. Handball comes out wide to Tyquin. His kick didn't travel that far. He had a bit of pressure applied to him. Umpire says now there's going to be a free kick, hopefully dropping the ball, and a free kick will go Geelong West way. So that might save a late goal to the home side, but the ball transfers across the ground and mark has been taken on the half back line. So Geelong West now would be quite content to see the three-quarter time siren. Short, not too sure that travel the required distance, but the mark has been paid out there, and it's Hutchison, it looks like, decides to go to the middle of the ground, but again the ball turned over into the hands of Condi. He goes back quickly, but again kick a little off the mark, and the mark has been taken out there by Taylor. So Taylor now plays on. He goes out wide. That kick was also intercepted. Donahue takes the mark.
I reckon he might bail.
He took a step though, didn't he?
Yeah, but the umpire had not called play on.
Yes, all right.
So that's
okay.
the right decision.
Yep.
Had he have called play on as he took that step, then he wouldn't have get this shot at goal.
So Donahue, has he got the distance? He'll kick from 50. Bit of a breeze behind him, so there's no possibility that he won't kick the distance, I wouldn't think. It's just going to sleep down there, but Donahue loads up. He goes long, he goes straight, but he won't have the distance, and the ball is into the goal square. So at three-quarter time, it is Inverleigh 16 goals 5. They lead the Giants on 4 goals 8. Goal kickers to this stage of the day is Dalton Grundle has 6, 2 each to Tyquin, Donahue and Burke, 1 each to Muir, O'Keefe, Gerard and Brown. And for the Geelong West Giants, it's 3 to Blake Dye and 1 to Xavier Slater. Take a short break, come back with final quarter action here from Moreton Power Oval. You're listening to 94.7 The Pulse, your home of local football.
Jared Young was pretty good. Jared Love was very good. Ryan Garrard came into his own that quarter after being quiet. Dalton Grundle's starting to really tear to pieces. And McEwen Walsh was dangerous as well. And I could probably add another 3 to that. They were just far too good that quarter. And look, I don't know whether you can kick 12 goals in a quarter, but I tell you what, they've got to show something to show that they are top 3 material. They have to show that.
Just some other scores from around the ground at the moment. East Geelong are 17-4, 106. They lead the Anarchy 1 goal, 6. Inverleigh, and that we know. Werribee are a little closer now, 9-10, 64. They trail Geelong, or North Geelong, on 13-10. Again, I just don't have the game on Bellpost Hill and Winchelsea, but Thompson are 66. Corio, again, it's only 18 points behind. They're at 48. Belmont Lions 30, trail Bannockburn 133. So the only one I can't tell you, again, Grub is the Bellpost Hill Winchelsea score. Good on you, mate.
Well, what was the Werribee score?
The Werribee score at the present time is Werribee Central 64, 88 North Geelong.
13-10 to 8-10.
Yep.
That's the last score.
Okay, yeah, that'll put pretty close.
So that's 5 goals.
Yep.
We got the Anarchy one from Mick O'Leary. You already got that.
So it's really only the Bellpost Hill game we need. The thing is, the siren stands to start the final quarter here, and again, Ruckman go at it again. Wilson over the top. Hahn didn't have clean possession of the ball, but he's going to win a free kick. So an opportunity for West to go straight into attack. Kick had a little bit too much on it. Crowley couldn't take the mark. God. Again, the ball bobbles around that centre half forward position, coming in to lay the tackle there with Brown. Ball gets out of the contest, picked up by Wilson, goes out the back and will find Gerard. So Gerard inside defensive 50, a little bit of time and space now, can go sideways. Ball and kick is okay. Mark is taken out there. Dan Groz, I think it is, has the ball, and he will just now go straight down the line, goes towards centre wing. Again, the ball over at the back. Wilson had the mark and or was going to be paid. I thought there was someone else in the contest, but he plays on and goes quickly into the middle of the ground. Coming up, umpire says he's got to go back over his mark, does he? So the ball will go back, and Wilson will take the kick from pretty much on centre wing, far side of the ground. He delivers the ball back inside. Kick is okay. Mark is taken out there by Alex Brown. He looks to bring the ball back into the middle of the ground. Cations is there. So he's now got the ball pretty much in the centre of the ground, decides to run and play. He decides to kick long into the forward line. Coming up, Grundle makes a ball from behind. Young taps it further afield to Walsh. Walsh got the handball away only as far as Lima. Lima goes out the back door, and Geelong West trying to run the ball out of the fence. Burke comes across, takes possession of it. Now he sits over the top of it. He did get the ball out, picked up by Young. He was tackled, brought to ground in the tackle, and we're going to have a ball up will take place. Players now getting a little bit ball says I said in that half forward line.
Let me just whip this in. Bellpost Hill 8-11-59. They trail Winch 13-8-86.
Okay, so there's
will be the upset.
That would be, absolutely. The ball from the contest is kicked out. Again, it comes out from Burke. He goes back towards centre wing. Wilson gets the ball to ground.
Friendly play.
Yeah, ran into each other. Handball comes out to Tyquin. Tyquin, a little bit of space, looks up and goes short with a kick. Mark is taken out there. It's Bowman. So Bowman now, he's got the ball. He's outside their forward 50. Looking towards Donahue, decides to go further afield towards Grundle. He comes up. Mark is not taken because the interception has been made, and I think it's Hutchison. He takes the mark. Put his teammate and Ian Nelly under a fair bit of pressure. Muir picks the ball up. His kick was also pretty poor and went straight back into the hands of Hutchison. So now he's got a chance to change things around. Yep. So Hutchison now will bring the ball out long, goes towards a true centre wing position. Ball is going to be marked. Is it out there? Marked, picked up by Cations. Cations has the option out the back, and Bowman went across the ground, went towards Young, got the handball back towards Brown. Brown goes across the ground towards Gerard. He comes up, can't take the mark, but recovered on the ground. Kicks the ball across, and a mark has been taken out there. O'Keefe, he's looking to transfer the ball and go quickly over the top of Walsh. Coming up, Loomer from behind, picked up Dwyer, got the handball away, and again Ianelli kicks the ball over the top. I think Hahn left the ball, did that nicely, won the ball back, Ianelli, and he kicks long into the forward line. Dan Groves over the back, tries to hit the ball to ground, runs through his hands, runs towards the boundary line. Dye leads in the race of the ball, tackle without the ball runs over the boundary line, and we're going to have a throw-in to take place.
Thought he might have got a free kick then, Dye. Not quite sure he was in possession when he was tackled, but long way away.
So just outside there, forward 50 Geelong West. Ball was thrown back in by the umpire. Wilson over the top. Took the ball to Tyquin. Tyquin went looking for Young. Couldn't find him, but he has support. He's going to get back and win possession of the ball. Goes over the top to O'Keefe. Wants some options wide. Has one now in Bowman. He was tackled. Shrugs the tackle. Has time to steady and kick into the forward line. Leading in the race for the ball is Grundle. Got the handball back inside. Did that nicely into the hands of his teammate. And that is Ward, and he has kicked his first goal. So there's an added goal kicker now, Inverleigh, and that's their 17th. They're 17-5, and 4 goals 8 to the Geelong West side. We have gone almost 4 minutes. Final quarter, Morris Finance scoreboard.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you kick a goal up the other end of the ground. You kick it straight at that post, and the wind brings it back nicely. And it was, even though it was not going through, not looking like it was going to go through the goals, we all knew it would. Grundle, if he's not kicking them, he's giving them away. He's having a dream day out there, and two West blokes collided out here, almost knocked each other out. And I can tell you that when it's not your day,
it's not your day.
It's not your day.
Yeah, so we're back in the middle again. As you said, the ball now is thrown up. A little tap there. It's very nice out of the contest. Goes to Muir, and quickly the ball back into the forward line. Grundle up from behind. Picked up. Donahue got the ball to the spoils and kicks towards goal.
Touched, says
the umpire.
I think the field umpires called it.
So ball now is going to be back with the fullback position. I think there it's Vine. He's going back to do the kicking in duties. But again, they haven't let up in this final quarter because rest on their morals, but they decided to keep attacking. Ball straight, Laurel, Morals and Hardy. And the ball has been free kick and the mark has been taken. Was a free kick given to Brown, was it? Free kick. Podger Carroll, and he's hurt an ankle or a knee. Player goes across the ground into the hands of Grozanowski, and he's got the ball. Has Gerard wide up. He's got options pretty much anywhere he wants to go here. Decides to go straight down the ground, and by himself is O'Keefe. And here he's going to come up. Looking for some options, goes towards a big fella in Walsh. He comes out, can't take the mark. Ball comes out the back. Nelly got the handball away. Went to his mate, and the ball comes across the ground. Mark is taken out there, this time by Taylor. Taylor looking to go quickly. Wants play to come at him, and Muir's not going to be sucked into that. Ball goes over the top. That was okay. The ball is kicked from Burke down towards centre wing. Picked up, and again the numbers with Inverleigh running onto the ball. This time will be Burke. This is Nick. He's tackled. Ball to ground. Umpire says as Fire tries to get to his feet. Ball has come out of that contest. Brown's over the top of it. Hall's also in there. Umpire's got to come in and take possession, and that he'll do now.
He's just so hard at everything he does, Fire, isn't he? He just attacks everything at a 100%. And that's what you'd like to see everybody do.
Yep, strong lad. Ball now comes out, goes towards Love once again. He was taken in the tackle from that contest. Again, without prior opportunity, umpire will come in. We will ball things up in between centre wing and the half forward line. This time at Geelong West attacking end of the ground. This time Jen does the work. Ball comes to Brown. He goes across the ground, and that's a good little kick. Gerard just sitting in some space behind the contest. He's taken the mark. He now delivers a ball low and flat, goes towards Donahue. Great kick, good mark. And they can turn things around very quickly here. Over the top to Love. Has Tyquin a little bit wider. Goes in that direction now. Runners outside. He's young. He's got a player deep in the pocket, but he decides to go straight up the ground. Kick didn't have the carry on it, and the ball has been marked out there by Turner. So Turner now for Geelong West. His little short kick goes to Ianelli in some space. And again, further afield, he's got a player out there by himself in more space. Goes back to Hutchison by hand. Hutchison now looks to deliver the ball into the forward line. Went to, and that was a good pick up there by Al. He goes and delivers the ball quickly back towards centre wing. Burke comes up, doesn't take the mark. Tyquin positioned himself nicely. I think they called for the ball, so he handballs straight to him. So he's that was a good handball because it hit the target, just the wrong coloured jersey. And now it's going to be picked up by Hahn. He's tried to deliver the ball in. Boyle, interception, picked up Gerard, went back, tried to get it cleanly off the ground, can't get it out. Umpire will come in and take possession. So right into the point of the centre square. Wilson up over the top, goes back towards Tyquin. He's got plenty of time to turn and spin and go back towards the half forward line. Grundle's out there from behind. Ball gets out the back of the contest. Just need a clean pick up. It's done so now by Burke. He goes in towards Walsh. He can't take it cleanly. West with some numbers back there. Gee, that's a strong tackle. Oh, geez. Is there an opportunity there to get rid of Grub?
Oh, I think he can take a step and a half. I might have called play on, but I can understand the umpire playing it.
So Jared Love now has a player working towards the pocket. He goes in that direction. The mark is taken out there. Young takes the mark. He's getting better every time we see him too, Grub.
Who's this?
Jared Young.
Oh, yeah. He's in my bets for sure. He won't probably get into my votes, but he's in. Only because there's been a few other really, really good players for the day. We're going to have trouble with this too because there's only two.
Yeah. Could have 6 different players.
Yes. And I'll tell you what, there's a chance that may happen because they've had some great players here today, the Hawks.
So Young now from that forward pocket comes in, kicks it goal, and he hits the post. Could have been another goal kicker for the home side, but 17-7 now to Inverleigh. 4 goals, 8. 9 minutes have gone, and it's going to be picked up there. Lima from that fullback position kicks out. Bowman couldn't take the mark. Goes to Boyal at the back. Ball now runs over the boundary line and will be thrown back into the field of play.
It's hard to do it all day, isn't it? You're just starting to struggle yourself now.
Yep.
Guernsey.
Jumper.
I wish I could help, but I just can't.
So the ball thrown back in. Wilson gets the ball out the back. Players, they run onto the ball. Handball goes over the top. Ian Ellie's going to be the recipient of the final handball. Now he gives it over the top. This time it's into the hands of Brown. Brown couldn't pick it up. Went back to Ian Ellie. He's ridden into the ground. Had to be a free kick. And we're pushing the back. And Ian Ellie, centre half forward position, has the ball. Oh, that was a good kick if it had hit the target, but it wasn't. Picked up there by Young. Needs to get rid of the ball, and again incorrect disposal. So it's going to be a free kick, and it's going to go to Slater. He's got an opportunity if he doesn't want to turn the ball over. So Slater is with the ball. Actually, it's a bloke I would have been given it to. Lima on the run, just coming past. He was ignored. So Xavier Slater now has 1 goal for the afternoon, and.
Well, I don't know how many games he's played in the last few weeks, Lima, but I think he needs to run.
Yes.
There's no doubt about that because he's a terrific player.
So Slater now will kick from right on the 50, loads up.
Oh, that's 50-metre penalty.
Oh, it doesn't matter, it's gone straight through. He was confident he was going to kick it, and now he does. So he's got his 2nd goal of the afternoon, and the 5th now for the Giants. They move to 5-8. They trail in the way on 17-7, and we have gone almost 11 minutes final quarter.
Well, that's just what they've got to do now. They've just got to keep forcing it, kick a few goals, and give themselves the confidence to know that they actually can play football, because they'd be devastated at the end of that 3rd quarter. They just got murdered in the 3rd quarter, and now they've got to fight back. And all right, there's times when you get 7-8 goals now. If you throw the towel in, come finals, you'll throw it in again. So they haven't stopped trying, and they've got to make sure they kick a couple now.
So we're back in the middle once again. This is time over the top again. Ball comes out to O'Keefe, and he tips the ball quickly into the forward line. Teichmann was protecting the space, probably could have got a free kick. Ball goes into the hands of Turner. Got the handball outside, and they've got running players through the middle of the ground. It's going to end up back with Turner, who continued to run, kicks into the forward line. Mark not taken out there, and again it's O'Keefe that's Boyle that lays a pretty good tackle.
The legs, didn't he?
Well, umpire said I think that's what he's indicated.
Yeah, the tackle dropped.
So Mitchell now gets the ball, looks for his teammate, went over the top. Ball is bundled over the boundary line. We're going to have a throw to take place. Unfortunately for Wallace, he was in space by himself. Kick wasn't good, and the ball travelled a bit too far. So it's waiting for the ball to come back from over the fence.
2013 to 7-8, Bannockburn versus Belmont. That's running late because they had the ceremony, the burning ceremony or something they call it.
Oh, was that today, was it?
Yeah, I think so.
So ball is going to be thrown back in now.
Smoking ceremony.
By the umpire from the contest. Picked up out there, and again, with a number of players around the contest, it wasn't going to come out. Umpire had no choice but to come in and take possession once again. This is where the tap work of Wilson has been exceptional. This time he decides to go a little bit longer. Ian Nelly read that out of the contest. He's tackled, got rid of the ball. Love went back and picked the ball up. He's trying to work his way through the contest. A couple of players on the outside just want to have a bit of a wrestle late in the game. Might be getting a bit cold out there.
Yeah, well, there's no good doing it now.
So umpire says there's going to be free kick, and it's going to go to Burke. So I'm not too sure how they picked that one out, but Paddy Burke is going to be the recipient.
I'd say there was a little bit of high contact there.
So the ball goes across the ground. It goes to Gerard. He goes short. Find Wilson. So Wilson now a little bit undecided what he wants to do with the ball. He decides to go short and wide. Has Fire in the back pocket.
Surely not getting dragged.
So Fire now, he's going to go longer, straight down the ground, goes towards Donahue. Ball from behind by Turner, kicked off the ground. Again, Turner went back and collected it, got it to Dwyer. Dwyer put the handball out wide, and again will make it a little bit harder for his teammate. Picked up there by Grozdanovsky. That was a clean pick up. He was tackled, brought to ground, and again, umpire, no prior opportunity there, so he is again in there to take possession of the ball between centre wing and half forward on the far side of the ground. As I said, ball tapped back by Wilson, coming through. Again, a chain of handballs, and again, they're straight into the tackle of Grundle, and they're not going to come out of that too many times.
No, he's a big, strong lad.
And the umpire again will come back in and take possession once again. That might have hurt him too, I think.
Where did he get that from? He couldn't got it from his old man, that strength.
No. Dad said he did, but I don't know. Ball in the hands of Gerard, and he kicks the ball back towards centre wing. Again, contest out there. Although when Shane Webb's holding your hand in a handshake, mate, you know it's been shaken.
Yeah.
So it's going to be back over the boundary line, and we'll have a throw-in to take place. So they've done this pretty nicely all day in the lead. They've been able to hold things up here. As Muir comes back on the ground. Wilson doing the ruck work, ball out the back, and again to Love. They've done that 20 times, I reckon, today. A kick forward into the hands of Donahue. Donahue quickly towards Walsh, and he comes up and takes the mark. So Walsh now delivers the ball, goes quickly in the forward line, and the mark has been taken out there as Tyquil has now pushed himself forward, and he will go back. And has a chance, got 2 for the afternoon, can kick goal number 3. Same thing. Distance won't be an issue here.
Yeah, I don't think the wind is as strong and as swirly as it was earlier.
The died off the trees have definitely stopped a bit, mate. Yeah. So Matty Tyquil, 25 out, almost directly in front. Takes plenty of time over the ball. Kicks that goal. Umpire, he just stands there and looks straight over the top of his head. He has his third and the 18th now for Inverleigh. They're 18-7. They lead Giants on 5 goals, 8. 16 minutes gone, final quarter. Morris Finance scoreboard.
Well, you said, Smithy, that Inverleigh have done pretty well by holding the ball in on that outer side of the ground. But I think even better is they actually get it out. Once they get it out, they look so dangerous. And that was a beautiful kick from McKeown Walsh. A lovely kick. Tyquil just did the rest. But, yeah, they not only hold it up, they know their way out, they know their way around the ground, and they put it into a scoring position, which West just couldn't quite do.
So back in the middle once again, this time Ruckman go at it. Wilson a longer tap out of the contest. Again, West won possession of the ball into the hands of Ianelli. Ianelli long into the forward line. Follett read that nicely off the boot, and he comes up and takes the mark. Plays on now. His kick was going to find Tyquil. Has a player there. He got in out of trouble. Decides to kick the ball across the ground. Dangerous kick. 1-on-3. by himself out there. Needs support. Went back. That was a good tackle. Great tackle. Forced the ball out of the contest and will hold things up very nicely. So he's done pretty good to be able to do that, and he will now stand himself up.
It was a good decision by the umpire too, because the ball got knocked out. The tackle knocked the ball out. He didn't dispose it.
So the ball thrown up. Wilson over the top. Again, not too sure who the player was that was in that contest. The ball is still to be won at ground level. Geelong West look like they're going to do so, but Inverleigh are not prepared to let the ball go forward. They're putting a fair bit of pressure on as Hahn kicks the ball into their forward line. File at front position, Dye at the back, File on hands and knees, tries to get the ball out of the contest. Now he sits over it. The umpire says he can't get it out, and there's going to be a ball up to take place. Forward pocket area. Ball is thrown up quickly. Again, Wilson up over the top. Goes into the hands of Ianelli. His kick was smothered, picked up out there by Ward. He couldn't get through the contest. Inverleigh tried to get the ball right out of there now, and it's picked up outside by Burke, and that's Nick. They go back towards the goal square, out the back. Ball is picked up and kicked through by Wallace. He has his first goal of the afternoon, and they now have 6. 6 goals, 8 to the Giants, 18-7 Inverleigh, and we have gone 18 minutes, final quarter.
Well, they're hanging in there. They're trying, as I say, that's all they can do. Hang in there. They've still got the slight aid of the breeze. So that's all they've got to do now. They can't win the game, obviously, and I still worry. It's not so much hanging in and kicking goals. I think the thing is, concentrate on your defence as well. Make sure Inverleigh don't kick another 3 or 4. And that's pretty important too, because you'd hate to come back later on in the year remembering an absolute flogging, although it's getting close to that now.
Yes, there's been a few margins in the contest today.
And I would say, myself, I've seen them twice, West, and I would say they couldn't win the grand final at all. But people will tell you they can, because they've played good football in other games. Unfortunately, we just haven't seen them.
Yeah, no, they've, as I said, against Belpost Hill, they looked ordinary. They were pretty ordinary that day, but then they go to East Geelong and beat East.
But they hung in there that day to the tune of 20 points.
Yeah, plus they lost their ruckman earlier game, and that made a hell of a difference to their side. So.
But what they haven't done today is they haven't really hung in there, because they're about 12 goals down.
Well, he's the bloke they need back in their side if they're going to make some inroads in their final, mate. They need a ruckman for sure.
No doubt.
These blokes are battling manfully, but unfortunately when you come up against a bloke like Luke Wilson that can jump over the top, he's giving an armchair ride to their boys through the middle of the ground. This time he's up and over. Ball comes down towards Grundle again. I don't know why there was no advantage there. But
probably should have been, but
he's going to pay it to Grundle anyway. And
then that's why it's no advantage, because that means he has to go back behind the mark.
So he does so and plays on quickly, looks and runs and goes quickly into the forward line. Good looking kick towards Love. He comes up, had a couple of goes at it. Ball comes through. Grundle comes through and picks it up again. Big fend off, goes back towards the goal square. Tyquin's there. Good defence there, and Viney comes up and takes the mark. So Viney for the Geelong West boys. Yep. He needs to decide when he's going to go long, and that's just a big kick out of there. Ball gets to the half-back line. Numbers again, picked up by O'Keefe. He goes around the body, goes back towards the goal square. Ward picks up, and he is offline. Has 1 goal, 2 for the afternoon. 18-8 now to the Inverleigh, and 6-8 to the Giants. They move the ball quickly. They get the ball towards centre wing. Hahn, will he run onto it? Wilson's right behind him, but the big fellas run past him. Ball kicked it off the ground under the hands as far as Dye. Dye tries to tap it back. He's able to do that, but the ball goes over the boundary line and will be thrown back in. So you got Wilson with legs of 6'6" and Hahn with about 2'6". But he's still going strong, Wilson, at this stage of the game, to chase down like that for a ruckman. That's a pretty good effort. Ball's thrown back in, comes out of the contest, picked up by Tyquin. Tries to get out of the contest, got the handball away. He's Podger Carroll. He tried to work the ball through that contest, but again, Grundle's back there helping out, and there goes back to Byle. Byle ends up with the handsball back to Grozdanowski on the boundary line, but steps over, and now the ball will be thrown back in once again.
Instructions are still coming thick and fast from the coach's box.
Yep. So ball thrown back in over the top. Ball to the front of the contest, and again picked up there. Burke on the left boot delivers the ball back towards the goal square, and it's just across the face through for a minor score. So there's 6 goals, 9 now West, and 18-8 to Inverleigh. The ball kicked out there long by Muir, but only as far as Levner comes up and takes the mark. So West an opportunity to go quickly back into attack. Gerard in front, doesn't take the mark, picked up there by Slater. Slater kicks the ball back towards goal. He is a little bit offline. Did it go through? I don't think it did.
He kicks it through the points.
Well, it's either a point or it's a goal. He never called a point, so it's going to be a goal. So Braden Mitchell has his first goal of the afternoon, and the 7th goal now for the Giants. It's 7-9. They trail Inverleigh on 18-8. And I'm pretty sure Dan Gross thought it was over the line.
Well, the umpire went to signal and then decided not to. I don't know why. I think everyone realised, even the West bloke, he just kicked it anyway. I don't think he really cared where it went, because they all thought it was a point. The umpire went to go like this and go for a point, and said, no, I don't think I will. So I don't know what happened there.
So we're back in game once in the middle again. The Buckmen go at it, this time over the top, tapped down again. Young tries to run into the ball, dives on it, tries to get the ball out, did that nicely. Hahn's in there trying to work his way through the contest, only as far as Wilson, back to Tyquin. Tyquin looks up and goes short towards Donahue. Spoilers made. into the hands of Hoare. He gets the handball outside. Grozanowski going back with a bit of courage. Picks up the hands of Dye. Dye is tackled. Good tackle by Al. Ball comes out. Handball goes towards Nelly from centre half forward. Looks up. Goes long towards goal. Is offline. Ball runs over the boundary line and we'll have a throw in beside the home post.
The game we're going to watch at the moment is Belpost Hill and Winch, because I think from just that last message, Belpost Hill are only 8 points down halfway through the last quarter.
Oh. So it's pretty important for Belpost Hill to keep winning to hold that one of the final spots, but West and their ball now is thrown back up from the contest. Lima, he sits over the top. Grundle, I think it is, it's trying to work his way out of there, but can't do so. The umpire will come in and take possession of it once again. Actually, Jack Follett was trying to force his way through. So we throw the ball up again. Wilson takes the ball out of the contest, goes towards Young. He is tackled. Well, it was dangerous, said the umpire. Free kick is going to go to Young. Edwards did the right thing in laying the tackle, but the force of taking him to the ground has obviously hurt things. He goes sideways, and Brown is out there by himself. So Inverleigh now to soak up a little bit of time. He wants to go long. Walsh is going to be the target. Ball gets out the back again. Good tackle. Berg holds things up, and again without any prior opportunity, that's a good decision. Umpire will come in and take possession of the ball. Ball is thrown up. Wilson tapples the ball down, goes towards Young, now towards Gerard. He is taken a little bit high in the tackle, I would have thought, but the umpire on the blind side says he was holding the ball. Free kick is going to go to Geelong West side. And Hoare now with the free kick. It goes into the forward line. Again, the ball is picked up in that pocket, picked up by Dye, tries to go towards goal, but Dean Muir says, no, I'll just rush it through for a minor score. And it's going to be another one. So it's 7-10 now, Geelong West. 18-8 Inverleigh. And we've gone 26 as Muir decides to go slow and to the back pocket. Out there is Brown. So he decides to go a little bit longer, outside 50. Coming up from behind Wilson, ball gets to front of the contest, tackle is laid out there. Again, the ball is intercepted. Donahue runs away with it, kicks the ball back towards the half-forward line, going across. Mark is not taken. Geelong West with some work to do out there as Lima runs onto the ball. Inverleigh with some numbers around the contest. Lima through his underneath his legs, tapped the ball out, but the ball runs over the boundary line, and there's going to be a throw-in to take place. Centre wing, far side. Wilson doing the ruck work by himself. Ball comes down back towards the boundary line. Again, going through. Young couldn't pick it up cleanly. West have got possession of the ball. They run the ball actually back the wrong way, and it's pretty hard to see who's got the ball out there.
I've just had a wonderful message from Jason Stolk.
What's Stolky doing?
Oh, it's a pity I can't repeat it. Any of it. Not a word of it.
So the ball with Wilson again. Ball is tapped down. Kicked off the ground. Again, it was picked up there. Turner got the handball away. A little quick kick forward was bypassed by Al, but he's been able to go back and collect it, win possession of it. Ball goes to Brown. Brown needs to get rid of it. That's incorrect disposal, but the umpires let things go. Picked up by Gerard. Gerard goes back outside towards centre wing. Mark is going to be taken out there. Possibly Bowman. Goes the handball back to Gerard. He plays on. Goes short. Walsh comes up and takes the mark. So he's outside their forward 50. Kick's going to go long into the forward line and quick. Ball is well read out there, and it's going to be taken by Viney. So Viney now transfers play club room side. Mark is taken out there, and this time by Braden Mitchell. So Mitchell working up the ground a little bit. Has some options short. He set it up here for Grozdanowski. He's in front. Ball gets out the back, picked up by Dye. He's looking at his option, goes into the forward line. Ball's going to get out the back. Will it? Wallace got the handball away to Podger Carroll. He runs in, and from about 30, kicks a goal. He's first of the afternoon, and we'll make it the 8th for the Giants. They are 8 goals 10. Inverleigh on 18-8. We have gone almost 29 minutes. Morris Finance final quarter scoreboard.
Oh, you got to give the kid a rap. Viney started that. He got himself in the right position, got pushed in a little bit. They brought the ball down really well. Mitchell hasn't played a great game, but when he was up forward in most of the game, the ball hasn't been delivered that well to his area, but he put it down here, and in the end, another goal to West. They needed it so badly, and I actually had a reply to that message. I replied, and I can't repeat that either. And I reckon the old 83-year-old will be up now. It'll be about 8 o'clock in the morning in London, so if you missed it, happy birthday, old fella.
Ball thrown back up by the umpire once again. Wilson up over the top, goes to Love. He is tackled. Ball sits underneath him, but without any prior opportunity again. The umpire will take possession once again. Young handballs the ball back, and the umpire now restarts it. Ball is thrown up. Wilson gets the ball, kicks it along the ground, runs out the back, picked up there. Grundle, taken by leg, got the handball away. Ball comes back to him as he's lying on the ground, but it's going to be West who deliver the ball back towards their half-forward line. A nice bit of work there from Mitchell, and he gets the ball into their forward line, going back. Gros can't take the mark. Ball comes to the front of the contest. Picked up there. Edwards tries to run it out, but he's sitting over the top of it. I'm not too sure there's a great effort there. Probably right there, the crowd says, holding the ball. Cations picks the ball up. It is smothered. Ball runs over the boundary line, and we're going to have another throw-in. So 30 minutes have passed in this final quarter. Inverleigh on 18-8, 8-10 to Geelong West. So ball is thrown up. Wilson straight back to the front of the contest, picked up by Young. He's tackled, and the umpire said, it's not going to come out. Give it back to me. Thrown up once again. Wilson again up over the top, decides to go a little bit longer. Ian Ellie sitting out of the contest. Has gone back and collected the ball. Young over the top. He might be in a bit of trouble here. He is. Umpire says that is holding the ball. And he's just going to slow things right down here. Jared Young is going to chip the ball. I don't know whether that was the required distance. Didn't even make his target. And Boyle goes back outside, and the mark is taken there by Cations. So Cations now, he'll go back. Has Muir deep in the back pocket. He can go across the ground if he wants to. So Muir now goes short. Boyle. So Inverleigh just playing a little bit of possession game now. He's going to kick towards centre wing. Ball from behind. Mark is not taken. Burke read that nicely. Advantage has been paid. Burke runs through the middle. Goes towards Walsh in some space by himself. Dropped the mark. He probably should have taken, but has plenty of time. Swings back on the left boot. Goes forward. Ball will get out the back. Again, it's going to be picked up there. Geelong West defence. Again, they can't get the ball free. Umpire says there's going to be a ball up to take possession again. So Hutchison did pretty nicely back there. He's been okay for West today, I reckon. And the ball is thrown up by the umpire. Walsh couldn't take it, kicked off the ground, goes back towards the goal square. Viney deep in defence, goes to Dwyer as the siren sounds to end the game here, which will see Inverleigh run out easy winners 18-8, and they'll beat Geelong West on 8 goals 10. And goal kickers for the game: 6 to Grundle, 3 to Tyquin, 2 to Donoghue, 2 to Burke, 1 is to Dean Muir, O'Keefe, Gerard, Brown and Ward. And for the Geelong West Giants, we've got 3 to Dye, 2 to Slater, 1 to Wallace and 1 to Podger. So we'll take a short break, come back, and we'll wrap things up here from Moreton Power Oval. You're listening to 94.7 The Pulse, your home of local football. 10-58, and a pretty comprehensive display from Inverleigh, especially after half time. Their third quarter, they said they kicked 9 goals and really set up the afternoon for them. So I'll just hand over to Grubby now, and he'll run through his thoughts of the game, and we'll come back and go through final scores from other games if we can have them through.
We've just got a couple. We have East 146, Anarchy 19. We got the Inverleigh one. Werribee 82, North Geelong 127, Thompson 102, Corio 63, Belmont 63. He's got Banno 48 here, but I'm guessing it's 148.
Yeah, it is 148.
And we still haven't got a Belpost Hill score, which was getting really, really, really close. That's the one we're really waiting on.
That's right. So the winners will be at this stage. We know that East Geelong have won. We know Inverleigh have won. We think North Geelong will win.
Yep.
Thompson will win, and Bannockburn will win. As I said, the only game we don't know about at this stage will be that the Belpost Hill and
Belpost Hill Winch game.
Yeah, Winch game.
has been leading all day easily.
Yep.
But the mighty Hill mob, they don't ever give up, and they're coming back strongly. Look, in the end, I've got to say it was another disappointing day for the West Giants. I've only seen them twice or 3 times. They were all right the first time, and they were just disappointing. They were just outgunned. Inverleigh burst out of the blocks with the wind and kicked 7 goals to about 1 in the first quarter, and you thought, gee, they're in trouble here. They fought back hard, and they only went in half-time a couple of goals down, and you thought, gee, if they can just hold them a little bit and give themselves a launching place to come home with a win, they're a chance here. And then whammo. What are they kicking that third quarter?
9 goals. 9 goals, 2.
9-goal third quarter to probably none. And that just blew them out of the water. It absolutely blew them out of the water. And from then on, it wasn't even interesting. They did hang on. They did try and keep going. They never stopped trying, but they just weren't good enough.
It was a pretty positive display. As I said, we've seen it a couple of times now against Bannockburn. We thought that was a really good game, a close game, hard-fought game, but they really exerted their power over Geelong West this afternoon. As I said, that third quarter was as good a good quarter of football, I think, as we've seen most of it all year. So it has now listed them as the number 1 club, or top of the ladder, I think. Are they? They go back on top, depending on... they will be, won't they? Because I think West have lost 2 now, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yep, so they'll go back on top. But as I said, Giants still with some work to do. But again, having Bone back on their side, I think he will make a fair bit of difference, having that bloke that's going to be 6'6" or 7 that can actually ruck. But again, can he do it all day against the likes of Wilson? I'm not too sure, but again, that's something Geelong West will need to answer, I think, in the next couple of weeks. As I said, it's you get a chance to have a break next week. Is it a break next week or the week after?
I think it's next week.
Is it? It might be. Beautiful. Week off, that's all right. So there you go. So that'll give a lot of sides a chance to get players back. As we said, Inverleigh, I think we named, what have we got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's probably 7 players that could probably come back into this senior side that would have already played senior football at some stage during the course of the year, and that will probably hold them in pretty good stead. Geelong West, not too sure what they've got. I know that there's